Hello, everyone. Um, you're gonna all have to bear with me today. As you can see, I'm still in my nightgown, and I've only been up since a little after 8, and not exactly my cheery, chipper self. Well, there's a reason for that. And without going into too much of a rant about it, short version, my mom is jealous of my friend that's like a sister to me, Norma, and thinks that I'm so far up Norma's ass all the time that I don't have time for her. That I'm just putting her on a back burner and forgetting about her, ignoring her. Yet I go and get her money for her every month, which I never get paid for. She treats my friend badly. She blames my friend for the reason why they have bed bugs right now. And her and Jim both got mad at me yesterday because I told them no when they asked me if I wanted to go to a couple of places with them, and Jim was going to put gas in my car and, treat me to lunch. But I didn't feel like going, and I told them no. So, I stood up for myself and told them no, and I didn't think that I was committing a crime, but apparently they view it that way because the answer I got back from Jim was, on our way to Bambi's, then eat, see you later. So I don't appreciate that attitude from Jim. And now I know that it's not just from Jim, it's from them both. And I even offered to come over there and pick up the $50 that he was going to give me to order him 4 diamond paintings and a diamond bead case with accessories. And, well, that ain't happening. So I was like, okay, fine. So I just deleted those items out of my cart on Amazon and moving on, because it's not right. It's not fair. So I'm just going to get a message to Mom that she's going to have to find somebody else to start getting her money for her, starting with the 3rd of September, because I'm just not going to do it anymore, because I'm tired of her petty crap and her jealousy, and I'm tired of Jim's pettiness and his getting pissy with me just because I tell him no, which I have a right to do. And I'm just not going to waste my time anymore. And I hate to say that about my mom. I would like, to enjoy my time with her when I do go over there, but it's just not appreciated. So I'm just not going to do it anymore. And if my brother calls me and he wants me to check on her or go over there or whatever, I'm not going to check on her. I will call the cops or something, or the ambulance, and I'll have them do a wellness check and go over there and check on her, make sure she's okay. But I'm not going to do it anymore. Because I'm just done. I'm done with all their pettiness. I'm done with all their jealousy. I'm done with all their crap. And I'm done with them expecting me to live up to their expectations. And when I don't, then I'm public enemy number 1 now? So, okay, what comes around goes around. If that's the way they're going to treat me, then they're going to get treated the same way back. Because I'm just not going to tolerate that. And so forgive me that I'm not in the greatest of moods this time, but at least you understand why. Lesson 6. We're going into the Sabbats now. Well, I'm not sure how they do it. Oh, well, they got like a brief thing in here about each Sabbath. Lesson 6, general questions. Number 1, the Sabbaths are holidays, a time to celebrate and rejoice with the gods. List the 8 Sabbaths and the dates they fall on this year. So apparently there's 8 Sabbaths. I thought it was 4 Esbats and 4 Sabbaths. Describe what each Sabbath commemorates and relate how you celebrated each one. Number 2, make up or create or write a hymn or song appropriate for a ritual occasion of your choice. Number 3, create your own version of a favorite ritual. And number 4, describe your enactment of a seasonal motif and the declaration from a favorite Sabbath ritual. Exam questions for lesson 6. Number 1, a coven member wishes to work some love magic at the next circle, which happens to be Imbolc. Can she or he do so? If not, why not? When can she or he do it? Number 2, at which Sabbats are the god and the goddess honored? Number 3, at the height of the summer, which deity is supreme to the exclusion of the other? Number 4, if the Sabbath date coincides with a full moon, whereabouts in the ceremonies would you perform the full moon rite? Number 5, which Sabbath marks the shift of emphasis from goddess to god, which marks the shift back from god to goddess? Number 6, is Yule one of the 4 greater Sabbaths? And I've decided, since I'm using such an unorthodox approach by reading the questions, when, any of you that are following along it with me, maybe don't have the book yet or whatever, by the time I get to the last lesson and read those questions, if I don't see any comments from anybody saying if you've gotten the book or not, then I won't do it. But if I do see at least a handful of comments from any of you that are writing this information down and using it to better test yourself and see if the craft is for you, if it's something you really truly want to do, and how far you're willing to commit to it by either trying to answer these questions yourself. Even if you've never read a single book about witchcraft, it makes you think. But I would read through the sections. By the time I get to the last lesson and I've read all the questions, I will go back through the book and I will read the material, lesson by lesson. I'll read all the material that answers the questions that you've already written down. It's just a different approach, a different way of doing things, and a harmless way to test yourself to see, 1, if you have the patience to not think that this is stupid or asinine for me to do the questions but not read the material. It's to test you to see how serious you are about learning the craft and the ways of the craft. It makes you think, like I said. And if there's any of these questions you can't answer yourself, then just wait until I get to the end, to the last lesson. Then I will go back through the material and I will read it. And maybe, hopefully, some of you will learn something that way too. So I'm not doing it to be weird or mean or anything of the sort, or, get on anybody's nerves or what have you, because only my subscribers can answer and make comments, because I don't need trolls in here telling me, well, that's stupid. Why are you doing that? Well, it's none of your business if you want to go there and be that way. I'm not doing it for a harmful reason. So what's your problem? And I only say that for, the ones that might be viewing this that aren't my subs, that can't make any comments, because I don't need any negative comments. Okay. I'm already going through enough right now, and I don't need any negative comments from strangers. If this isn't for you, then don't watch my channel. Just don't. But I'm not going to be your punching bag when I'm already my own family's punching bag, and I'm just not going to tolerate it. So if this is not for you, then don't watch it. I mean nobody any harm. I am not doing any harm. And therefore, in my mind, I'm not causing any harm. I'm just doing things a different way. That's all. So, even though I'm not in as positive of a mood as I normally am, I'm still trying to do my normal stuff as well. And since I wasn't feeling up to doing it yesterday, I'm making sure that I make myself do it today. So I will also say to any of you out there, especially any of my subs that don't understand me, which if you're a sub to my channel, then you should know me well enough that by now that you know that I'm not doing this and dressing this way and being this way to offend anybody. It's just I'm having a bad day and I don't feel like throwing my clothes on right now. So again, if someone don't like the way I'm dressed or don't like the fact that I haven't brushed my hair yet or anything like that, then just don't watch my channel. Go watch something else. What is my affirmation for today? Forgiveness. Imagine that. Congratulations, you're being given one of the most powerful superpowers there is. Forgiveness. Imagine that you've been bitten by a radioactive forgiver. The point is you suddenly have the ability to forgive people for their flaws, their bad days, their unkind moments, and their mistakes. And the best thing about forgiveness is that you can apply it to yourself too. Have fun wielding your new power, but remember, with great forgiveness comes great inner peace. And what is a general affirmation for everybody else? Everyone's a teacher. Everyone I cross paths with is a teacher in that moment. The ones who give me the fun lessons are the ones I call friends. The ones who give me the hard lessons I sometimes call a-holes. They've chosen a tough job, but someone's got to do it. So today I'm thanking all the a-holes. Thank you, a-holes, for playing your part in making me a better person. What message does the Green Oracle have for me today? Animals. Concept: all kinds of animal creatures. Image: a cat, a rabbit, a deer, a bear, and an eagle sitting in front of a fairy holding the wand of a music director. Animals are very different from one another. Also, many animals are carnivorous and eat other animals. Nature, we know, can be cruel. It has so much death and suffering. What it doesn't have is evil. Animals cannot be evil because when you look at them, you cannot look just at a single action, but you look at them all together. The ecosystem moves like a melody or a dance. Divinational meaning: people can be different and each have different qualities and give importance to different things. Action is the key to change. Many voices need a single direction to sound as one. There is a music in life. And what general message does the Green Oracle have for everyone else? Coexist. Concept: human nature relationship. Image: a man, a wolf, a goat, and a cabbage are resting together near a river. There is a very old story about the wolf, the sheep, and the cabbage. The story says that it is impossible to have everything and that one must choose whether to sacrifice the sheep or the cabbage. Choice is about responsibility. Sacrifice is about maturity. Acceptance of loss is about reality. But actually, the puzzle suggested by the story could be solved. It is indeed possible to save both, the sheep and the cabbage. Coexistence is difficult, but not impossible. Sacrifice can take the form of effort, attention, patience, and perseverance. It's not always loss. Solutions can be found outside the obvious choice and the majority opinion. But more than everything, if you look at the picture, you may realize that even for a wolf, a sheep, and a cabbage, life is not just a fight. Nature is not just about eating. They can just stay there resting near a calm river peacefully. Divinational meaning: a solution may be found if you look hard enough. Between the cabbage, the sheep, and the wolf, there is no need to have a preference. Between a hard choice, there is always time to sit a moment. Do not surrender to reason just because reason says so. The story and the puzzle of the wolf, the sheep, and the cabbage. Sometimes it's about a fox, a goose, and a bag of beans, and probably it changes form and characters with each language and culture. Once upon a time, a man was about to cross a river with his wolf, his sheep, and his cabbage. Unfortunately, he could only bring one of the three across the river on each journey, and if left alone together, even for a short time, the wolf would eat the sheep and the sheep would eat the cabbage. If he carried the cabbage first, at his return, he would have found the sheep eaten. If he carried the wolf, he would have found the cabbage eaten. But even if he carried the sheep first, if he fetched the wolf last, the cabbage would have been eaten. And if he fetched the cabbage last, the sheep would have eaten it. However, there is a solution. It can easily be found through the web. However, here is one hint. You should consider that it's possible to travel both ways through the river, and what has been carried over can also be carried back later. Do not surrender to reason just because reason says so. So I guess in that sense, I'm not sure what it's saying really, but one of them you could leave and come back for later, I guess, is maybe what that one's saying. Meow. Why were you being a bitch to your sister earlier? Because there was no reason for you to be. You want some attention? Come here. I'll give you some. She don't like it when I hold her. So I usually try not to do it very long. But she was fighting with her sister earlier because Carmela was over here trying to get attention from me. This is Carmela. And Kalika jumped up on the couch too and came over and was trying to get attention from me at the same time. So Carmela here saw reason to smack at her sister because her sister was taking her attention away from Mommy giving attention to Carmela. But that doesn't make it right for her to smack at her sister just because her sister was wanting attention at the same time. You wanted Mommy's attention. You're getting it. There. Now go away and leave me alone for a while. August 22nd, spell of the day, car blessing. Before leaving on a lengthy journey, bless your car. Walk around it clockwise and examine the body, the windows, the wheels, and so on. Imagine yourself storing up more and more energy within yourself with each breath that you take, then breathe out all of the energy, fixing it in each of the car's parts. Say aloud, may the protection of the Lord and the Lady be in and about this vehicle, that it may deliver us safe to our destination. So mote it be. Then get in and drive off. And in the real witch's year, the spell of the day is rites of withdrawal. Witches believe that after death, we pass on to the summer lands, the place beyond the veil of life where we go between lives. Here we may meet with those we love who have already passed on, and here we choose the lessons we will learn in our next life. We have a number of rites which we can hold when a loved one passes from this life. Collectively, these are called rites of withdrawal. Although this encompasses a variety of quite different rituals, a rite of withdrawal can take place as a person dies, in which case it will serve to give them peace as they commence their journey. A witch may even create their own meditation rite to take them through the veil. There are rites which may take place at the same time as a burial or cremation, if this is not likely to offend or upset other mourners. Or there may be rites which are a celebration of life, which take place sometime after the remains have been committed. These latter may take place more than once, with a person being remembered on several occasions by different groups of friends or family. Whenever they are held, rites of withdrawal serve two main purposes. They allow us to celebrate the life and achievements of our loved ones, and they allow us to remember them as the people they really were, faults and all. Whilst we do feel grief at our own loss, we emphasize the celebration of a person's life with shared experiences and tales of the times we enjoyed together. And then the caption down here says, people live forever in the memories they leave. Okay. And let's see who the goddess of the day is, because I could definitely use some help with my dilemma that I'm in. Virgo begins. Various locations. Astrea. Themes: excellence, learning, purity, justice, knowledge, reason, innocence. Symbols: stars. About Astrea. This Greek goddess motivates fairness and virtue within us. She empowers our ability to fight the good fight in both word and deed, especially when we feel inadequate to the task. According to lore, she left Earth during the Golden Age because of man's inhumanity to man. She became the constellation Virgo. To do today. In astrology, people born under this sign, like Astrea, strive endlessly for perfection within and without, sometimes naively overlooking the big picture because they're focused on detail. Astrea reestablishes that necessary perspective by showing us how to think more globally. To encourage this ability, draw a star on a piece of paper and put it in your shoe so that your quest for excellence is always balanced with moderation and sound pacing. To meditate on this goddess's virtues and begin releasing them within, try using a bowl or bath full of soap suds sprinkled with glitter. This looks like floating stars as a focus. Light a candle nearby and watch the small points of light as they dance. Each one represents a bit of magical energy and an aspect of Astrea. Tell the goddess your needs and your dreams, then float in her starry waters until you feel renewed and cleansed. Now that's beautiful and definitely a positive itching. Sorry. To try, and I would love to do something like that, but I don't have the luxury of being able to have a hot bath unless I go use either Norma's or Christie's, and Christy most likely is at work, so I couldn't use hers. I could use Norma's, but I just don't think I'm quite ready to go anywhere or do anything, but I will light a candle today and honor, hail, and welcome Astrea, because she is the goddess of the day. So if you caught that and you was able to write it down and you try it and it helps you, great. That's what I want to do, is I'm trying to help one of the few ways that I can, and that's, through a live stream. And my friend Vicky was on yesterday when I did a live stream, and she said some very positive, supportive, uplifting things that meant a lot to me. My arm's hurting. And it meant a lot because she said that I uplift them, meaning she wasn't just speaking for herself, but others, I guess, on the channel that do know me and that have encountered me or experienced me or been my friend or something of that nature. So you guys know that I'm coming from a place of the heart. Do I have bad days? Absolutely. Today's one of them, but I'm still here. I may not be dressed or anything, but I'll fix that here in a minute. It just, when you wake up in the morning feeling extremely hurt by the harsh words, thoughts, and feelings of your own mother that you have spent your entire life trying to love, cherish, enjoy, do things for her. enjoying the closeness that we once had, but doesn't seem to exist anymore. And now she's dragging innocent people into it because she wants to be selfish and petty. And I know a lot of it is simply because she's old and, she loves me, she misses me and all that. I get it. But she needs to realize, like my brother told her last night on the phone, Mom, we all have lives. And I would add to that, just because you don't have a life, don't make it our responsibility to give you one. You may have brought us into the world, yes, and we are grateful for that. But you need to stop expecting us to just bend over backwards for you and do everything for you. And we're not allowed to have friends. We're not allowed to go out and have a girls' day out with a couple of our friends. And I mean, it's not like I haven't offered multiple times, because I have, to go out and do something with my mother, but she refused. She didn't want to go. What am I supposed to do? Hog tie her and force her in the car anyway? I don't think so. But yet, if Jim walked in the door and offered to take her somewhere, she'd go right out the door with him, no questions asked. So while she's basically in a roundabout way accusing me of being so far up Norma's ass that when Norma farts, my head pops out of her ass, well, Mom is constantly trying to shove her own self so far up Jim's that when he farts, hers pops out. And I know that's pretty mean to say about your own mother, but that's just the point that she's driven me to. And this has been over 55 years of her being the way she is. And, I try to forgive her. I try to overlook stuff. I try to, do things for her anyway. Or when she gets me this angry and upset, I just give it a little bit of time for things to settle down. And then I will try to go back to her when I'm cool-headed again, so that I can talk to her in as loving a manner as I can, but also as stern of a one as I can, and say, Mom, look, I love you. I'm sorry that you're so miserable alone here in your big glorified house when me and my people, me and Chris, for instance, are struggling, having trouble keeping the bills and rent paid. The stress levels going up all the time because, the landlord wants to come in and spray for roaches, which we're grateful for. But the stress that comes with what is expected of us to do, what he expects us to do, get stuff moved away from the wall, so he can get it at the baseboards and everything to spray. We get all that. But the stress that comes with it, that's what makes it difficult for us, because we're trying to do the right thing. We're trying to get stuff cleared out of here. This apartment is the cleanest it's been in 17 years. And me and Chris both are trying our very hardest to keep it that way. Now that we got it this way, we're going to keep it this way. But that also entails yet more sacrifice. Like, for instance, out of this check, I'm going to be shelling out $68 to keep the storage shed that a lot of my stuff is in, because I don't want to bring it back in here. I don't want to bring the clutter back into this apartment. I need to get myself over there, and I need to start going through those boxes and throwing stuff away and, hopefully get things cleared out, figure out what I'm keeping, what I'm donating, to like the thrift stores or whatever. And then, get that stuff all ready to go, get the thing cleared out, and hopefully only have it for a couple of months. And then I won't need it anymore. So then that's $68 back in my pocket. But until that time, that's more money out of my pocket that I really can't afford, but I'm doing it because I have no choice, because I don't want to bring that back in here. Now what?
That's the cost.
So right now, all I can do is, because of how much she's hurt me this time, I can cry about it, sure. I can let those feelings out safely, peacefully, not lash out, as a way of letting them out. but give myself some time to calm down from it, and then go over there one day and just have, a talk with her and just tell her the way things are, and try to do it as calmly as I can, as lovingly, like I said, as I can, so that she can't turn around and say later that I'm coming over there and attacking her, because that's not what I'm trying to do. But she seems to have no problem attacking my friends and accusing them of taking me away from her. So she's acting like a child that's throwing a temper tantrum because she's not getting her way. And this is where it's been not so fun being a Capricorn and being raised by a Leo mother. Because of how much she hurts me and accuses me of things that isn't right and isn't fair, because me and Chris both bend over backwards to help her. Chris is paying over $80 a month just to have 4 phone lines, and one of those phone lines is hers. He has replaced her phone 4 times or more, because she gets on there and she starts pressing buttons, and she just don't even know what she's doing. She screws up the phone and it being able to work right, and then she claims that it's broken. Yeah, because she broke it or she messed it up somehow. Chris gets her another phone, and there was nothing wrong with the phone in the first place. It was just her pushing buttons and messing around with it, and she has to hold the phone literally this close to her face before she can even see it.
This last one didn't even last a day before she was claiming it was broken.
Yeah. And when I go over to get her money for her every month, it takes gas out of the car. It takes time for me to stand in the line inside the bank, which kills my back, because it's not like you can, stand in the line and have a chair to sit on and then, pick it up and keep moving it as the line moves up. That's just not plausible. But she doesn't account for any of that. She doesn't care. All she cares about is that I bring that envelope into her and give her her money, and then all is well and right with the world, and she can go cram it in one of her many stash places and add to the many thousands of dollars she's already got stashed. Because it gives her a sense of security having a bunch of money like that around her that she's never going to use. She's never going to use. She's never going to spend. She just has it, and it makes her feel good because she has it. Meanwhile, we're struggling and scraping to make ends meet, but that's not her problem. We do a lot for her, and we can't even.
She spends the money. She just doesn't spend a lot of it, but she spends it on dresses she never wears.
Yep.
Jewelry she never wears.
Yep. She spends it on stuff for herself that she never wears, that she never uses, that just sits around and collects dust. But if one of us does it, then, a lot of times she gives us the third degree, like we're spending our money wrong, but it's okay for her to spend her money the same exact way. And nobody's allowed to say a word negative about it to her. Because if they do, then they get the third degree.
I just sent the one who requested the additional documents back in March. I just sent her an email asking if she received it.
Is this about the housing thing again?
Yeah. Because we haven't heard anything since March. And supposedly we were on the very last stage that should only take a week or two. And we haven't heard anything.
Brooke! Oh no, honey, what's wrong? What's the bad news? Come on, you gotta tell us. What's the bad news? Oh
Oh, my pickles is gone. Boo's still here at least. I don't know if you heard, but since the last time I talked to you, I've had a stroke. I've also got my teeth pulled and got dentures, but that's nothing.
Oh, honey, I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry to hear about pickles.
I'm so sorry. So sorry. Oh, honey, I'm so sorry.
Ready? Okay. Let me give you a hot dog. Something like that a little later. We'll go up on the street for your own house. Good.
That's good.
Do you still have the same phone number, your British number? Let me know what she responds. Tell her I got some old number through text message, a picture.
Well, I'm happy and sad all at the same time. Glad that you finally made it on, but I'm sorry about pickles. As you can tell. And not knowing, what happened, that just makes it worse. She's asking if the number you're asking about ends in 334. Because she said she's not sure what one you have.
The one I got is 2810.
He's got the 2810.
Oh, wait, I do have the 5334.
Yeah, he does have the 334. And she says no then, but he has the 334. So you don't have the 334 anymore?
810.
The 28110 is cut off.
Okay. But the other one's still working.
But the other one still works? Yeah. That's the new one.
Okay.
Okay. I'm trying to stop crying, but it's hard, So, sorry if you watch this from the beginning, because it's not going to be very positive. So, because of, something my mom did. I don't know how much of the live you heard. But she's, yeah, I know, hon, but I'm glad you were able to tell us, and, yeah, I'm just glad to hear from you, because we weren't sure what was going on, and we were all pretty scared for a while there that we had lost you, altogether, that we didn't know if you guys were out on the street or what happened. But Alicia, I don't know about now because I haven't been able to bring myself to ask her, but I'm guessing that her cat Widget is at least doing better. I've been lighting a lot of candles and trying to send her hope and stuff. Oh, wow. That's terrible. I'm sorry to hear that. Alicia, she texted me not too long ago. I think it was about a week or so ago, somewhere around there. And she was responding to a text that I had sent her, just trying to at least communicate with her a little more often that way. And when she finally answered me back, she said, "Sorry, it took me so long to answer back, Mom." She said, "But Widget's not doing too good, and we don't know how much longer she's going to be with us." And Widget, of course, if you don't already know, is her Pickles. So she said she had been crying a lot and sad a lot. If I picked Boo up right now and showed you what he looks like, you would probably start crying again, because he's still alive, he's still eating, he's still drinking. He still looks like vibrant and everything in his face, and his eyes, but he's skin and bones. And we don't know why. We can't afford to take him to a vet to get him checked. And he may have feline leukemia, cancer or something. We don't know. I mean, I hope that's not what it is. But I can't. A lot of times I can't even bear to look at him when he's laying down and stretched out, because he's just so frail looking, and I feel like we're watching him die slowly, and it's killing me, because we can't do anything to help him. So every day that I get up and he's still around, I count as a blessing, because it's so horrible to see him like this and not know why he's like this, and wishing I could figure out something to do to help him.
I'm trying a few things. Not sure if he basically poisoned himself by eating a dead roach that died from poison, and possibly did a little bit of damage, and it's taken a while for it to repair. So he's not quite getting the nutrition he should from what he's eating.
He throws up a lot.
He's thrown up a lot since we've had him here.
I know, but
The other thing is possibly he's got a little bit of blockage from hair. And I'm using tuna and oil. Because that's what they use for the hairball stuff you can get that you like put on their paw and they lick it off. It's basically tuna oil. Is the active ingredient that helps them. So I've got some tuna that I'm using for that.
hoping it'll help, you know. I would rather it be something like that, something we can fix, you know. But it's just scary because, you know, we don't have any way of knowing how old he is either, because when we got him, all we know is he's fully grown. And
yeah, that's the other thing I'm thinking too.
He could be old.
Might just be
old.
how damn old he is.
He's right here at my feet. If I pick him up and show you what he looks like right now, I'm gonna be crying again. So I try to, you know, prepare myself for the day that I might wake up and he might be gone.
Tell her I sent her a picture.
He sent you a picture of him.
No, I sent a picture, not a picture of him.
Oh, he sent some kind of picture, I guess, to you. Yeah.
Did you get it?
I don't know, but she said every day is a blessing with him, meaning, you know, that's what I say, you know, every day that I wake up and he's still with us. Hey, boo.
Because I don't know if our international calling, having that turned on, also applies to text messages, so I'm not sure.
Boo, baby.
If it doesn't, I'll send it to her email.
Yeah. So, I'm trying to. Kalika, leave him alone. Kalika and Carmela's still picking on him. She said she just updated her signal. She hadn't been on it in a while, so hopefully that's a way that we can, you know, still get a hold of you then. And you've probably seen how many messages I left you and everything because I was trying to reach out because I didn't know how else to reach out and try to, you know, connect with you some way. I even, I don't remember what, I think it was this one, my 2-in-1. I installed TikTok and was trying to find you that way, but I could not for the life of me. And you know my issues with TikTok because I don't like the way they did you, and I'm sure you're not the only one, you know, that they do that kind of stuff too, and it's still wrong, you know, that they do it at all, because they're really, you know, they're hurting a lot of people that really need the business and need the money.
And I have a YouTube channel. A little bit of debunking, a little bit of magnet fishing, a little bit of metal detecting. We ever get a house and I can get it set up, I may even do some like electronic, you know, buying returned electronic stuff from like eBay and Amazon and such, and trying to repair them and resell them.
Yeah, so
Don't have much on there right now, but
Right.
A couple of test videos, just making sure everything was working all right. One magnet fishing and one debunk.
And if you want to find him, I believe one of the ways you can look him up is under the Wolfie 0827 or something like that.
276, yeah, 0827 or Wolfie's Den.
Or Wolfie's Den, DEN. You know, as in Wolf's Den.
Wolf's Home.
Yep.
I did send her a link. I think I sent it through the email that I have for her for the birthday video we did for her.
Birthday video.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for her birthday?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a birthday video for you. So, I don't know what. She said it wouldn't allow her to open the something. It said it was private. You mean the birthday video for you? It said was private?
Yeah, I said private, so only people I sent a link to.
Oh, if you can find the link, it said she didn't have permission. I guess he's trying to fix that right now to where you will be able to access it, hopefully. But yeah, you know, I figured, you know, there was a lot of something, you know, going on. Trying to get my trash bag untied here. Whoops. If you get a chance and you're feeling up to it, watch the live stream. I think the one I did before this one, because Vicky was on yesterday, and she was on her lunch break at work, and she was on there for like a decent amount of time, but I kept trying to, you know, cut it short because I didn't want it to affect her job, you know, and get her in trouble at work. But she's told me before, she said, don't even worry about that. She said, it's okay, sweetie. I'm just glad that you were finally able, you know, to reach out. And I always tried to have hope that you would, you know, at some point be up to it enough to, you know, reach out to us. And, but we got the apartment cleaned up really nice and everything. And it took us a week and a half. You won't know it if you see it now, but on that live stream yesterday, I literally had my 2-in-1, and I went around each room as slowly as I could to show Vicky how nice it looked now. And she's like, oh my God. She said, you guys did great. She said, it looks awesome. I said, thank you. And the energy's definitely better in here. The energy's lighter. And as far as going silent, honey, I do the same thing. So, you know, don't beat yourself up over it, okay? I'm just glad that you're with us now, you know, so. And I just kept, you know, sending prayers and, you know, good thoughts out there and lighting candles and asking, you know, please send my family whatever it is they need the most right now in their lives. Please let them, be blessed with it. Because there was a lot of worry, that you and the boys were out on the street and you had nowhere to go. And I was hoping that wasn't, what was going on. And I know that you said that you were finally getting some help for your two boys that are autistic, which is good. I hope you're still getting help with that. But I'm sorry the government's just shoving you aside and not helping you anymore with the migraines, because that's just not right. And I found out through one of the neighbors in the building yesterday, when I was hanging out with them a little bit, that they live here. Basically, somebody else pays their rent and bills. Yeah, I can understand the, the money issue too, because it's the same here. But when I was on the live earlier, I was crying or almost crying, because of what happened with Mom. Basically accusing me, you might as well say, of being so far up Norma's ass that I don't have time for my own mother anymore. And I thought that was pretty mean of her to say, and pretty cruel and heartless. Her and Jim both got mad at me yesterday because I didn't feel like driving all the way to Pataskala to take them to Bambi's. And, Jim said he'd put gas in the car and he'd treat me to lunch and everything. And that's all well and fine and good. But I didn't feel up to doing it. So I just told him I don't feel up to it. And I'm going to make me some lunch here, because I was on the phone with my brother for 2 hours. So I wasn't really feeling like doing much of anything, because believe me, being on the phone with him for 2 hours is exhausting enough. And they got mad at me because Jim had some diamond paintings that I was going to order for him that he wanted to do for some lady that likes cats. And I was going to get him another, a diamond bead case and with the little accessories and everything. And he was going to give me $50 to get to order that stuff for him. And, well, the answer that I got back after I told them no was, on our way to Bambi's, then eat, see you later. And I thought that was pretty harsh and mean, that they're getting mad at me just because I said no. And then come to find out later, because Carl called them and he talked to Mom to try and find out, what their deal was, without being obvious about it. And he said that Mom said that it seems like, me and Chris, not just me and Chris both do everything for Norma and nothing for Mom. Now, I'm sorry, Mom, but that's wrong for you to say, because if it wasn't for Chris, you wouldn't have that phone right now. Your phone bill wouldn't be getting paid every month. And, Chris doesn't even get any appreciation for that, because it's costing him $80 plus to have 4 phone lines. And one of those phone lines is hers. So she should show a little more appreciation, and she don't. And you think she's ever going to even remotely try to give him some of that money back, like even half of it, like 20 or 40 bucks would be nice? No. And it just really hurts me that she's doing this and saying this and feeling this way, when it's not fair, because that is not the case. We don't do everything for Norma and nothing for Mom. We do plenty for Mom. We have done plenty for Mom. Her phone bill's paid every month, but we don't do anything for her. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Mom, whatever. She's accusing Norma of taking me away from her, and that I'm just spending so much more time with Norma and doing things with Norma, and suddenly it's now Norma's responsibility to give me gas money so I can go over and see my mother. Well, I can't really expect that from her now, can I, considering she don't even like Norma, but she has no problem, with Norma giving me gas money so I can go over there and see her. That's not right either. I know a lot of the reason why she's doing the stuff she's doing is because she's old and her brain's not firing on all cylinders, but it doesn't make it hurt any less either.
Okay. Just sent you a link again to your Gmail address, email address for the birthday video. Not sure why it didn't go through last time, why it said you didn't have permission, because I sent it directly to you. The link that was supposed to be shareable. So I don't know.
But hopefully it'll go through this time.
YouTube's been screwing up a lot this year.
Yeah, exactly. And I agree, honey, with you that, mom should at least make some kind of effort to give Chris some of that money back. But no, she doesn't. She just expects it. Okay. I don't even get paid for going over and getting her money for her every month. So you know what? Starting with September 3rd, I'm not getting her money anymore. She can have Jim do it because that's whose ass she seems to want to be up and wants Jim to do everything for her, and nobody else is allowed to have a life. They have to cater to her. They have to do everything for her. They have to babysit her. They have to stay there and be company with her. It's all about her. She's just in her old age. She's just gotten very narcissistic, and it's really I can't take it anymore. So, I struggle with that, and sometimes it's hard to, because she don't appreciate anything that we do for her. And how much money it's costing Chris. He has a medical folder on her, but we can't get her to go to the doctor. And now she's complaining about it to Carl, that we used to take her to the doctor and now we don't anymore. Well, yeah, because she didn't want to go anymore. What are we supposed to do? Hog tie her and force her into the car? I don't think so.
As long as we can shove her in the trunk so we don't have to listen to her bitch.
You know how we've tried, because I know I've mentioned it, I'm sure, many times on live streams before, how we've tried to get her help with, maybe having somebody come over there and bring meals to her every day, or something like that, right? How we've tried to get her help to get her some glasses that she can actually see out of, so that she don't have to, like, she's between, I'd say 3 to 5 feet, maybe that, or that's what it seems to me. But Chris probably says that it's more because he loves to correct me every time I say something wrong. But she's sitting a lot closer now to the TV than where the chair was the last time you knew it. And she still uses a pair of binoculars just to be able to see the TV. And she's only a few feet away from it. That's how bad her eyes have gotten. And hearing, equally bad, because a lot of times when I come in the door, I'm like, Mom, and it's like she don't even hear me until I'm literally standing right next to her. And then she jumps and goes, oh my God, or something, because like I came in and frickin' pointed a gun at her head or something, and I try to announce myself. I try to let her know that I'm there, and sometimes I even ring the doorbell purposely just to make her get up and walk in the kitchen. And by the time she gets about to the door, I'm opening the door, and then she's like, oh, it's you, because that's the only way I can keep from startling her a lot of times when I'm just trying to go in and see her. And now she's blaming Norma for the reason why they have bed bugs. And yet, in the same token, in the same breath, she went on and on about how many other ways you can get them. But yet, what is their go-to? They're blaming Norma. So that makes her feel even less wanted or welcome there. Yet, my mom expects her to give me gas money so I can go see my mom. I'm sorry, but no, that's not right. That is not right. Especially when mom is sitting on several $1,000s that she don't even use, like I was saying, and she spends it on stupid stuff because she wants it, and then she never uses it. She never uses the stuff. It sits at, she's talking about giving a lot of her like really pretty dresses and stuff that she has. She's talking about selling them now because she's never going to wear them. So it's like anytime I try to get her anything halfway decent, she don't appreciate none of it. None. So I'm just not going to do it anymore. I'm just not.
Well, I've given up trying to help her with doctors, health issues and stuff until she asks me directly.
And
every time I bring it up, whoa,
I don't want to do it, blah, blah, blah. And she's giving a bunch of, she's whining and crying and pissing and moaning about it. And all we're trying to do is help her. But yet, Carl, bless him, Carl finally did get through to her and did talk her into letting him get that stuff set up for her. So she gets those meals and stuff now, at least, but they haven't really done much else yet. That it's only so far, it's only been the meals that I think they bring, like, I don't know if it's once a week or what, but.
And she's complaining about the meals already.
Yeah, and she's complaining about the meals already. She's complaining about how some of them make her sick. Probably because the stuff's not being cooked right. Because that microwave they have needs to be replaced. And Jim refuses to replace it. He don't like driving around in the Rattlebox piece of shit truck, which is the same truck he's had for I don't even know how many years now. And he keeps Band-Aiding it. He keeps Jimmy rigging it. He keeps doing all these things to keep it running. And yet, even if somebody came up and handed him the money right now today, he probably still wouldn't go out and get another car. He's gone more than he's there. Every time I do go over there and try to spend time with her, I've got to listen to her piss and moan and bitch and gripe about everything that she's unhappy about. Yeah, it does. And, with my fibromyalgia and everything, and because I suffered the concussion that I did, that it messes with me really bad. I even hate riding in that damn truck because it's disgusting. It's sickening. When he is home, he spends the majority of his time out in the garage all day. So he doesn't even have the decency to go in and spend any of that time with mom. One of the few times that she's actually happy is when her friend, not my aunt, but when her friend Carol comes over to see her, who's lost both of her parents. So she likes coming over and talking to mom once in a while, and she always brings mom food and different things, and tries to make sure that she's eating and everything. And we all have done that. So, she's just, she's just making it harder and harder for any of us want to even be around her anymore. And that breaks my heart because every day that goes by that, this stuff is going on is another day that I could have been spending with my mom that I'd like to be able to enjoy with my mom, but I don't want to do it because I don't want to hear her constant complaining about everything that she's unhappy about. And I just can't.
Actually, about the stuff that we try to help her with, and she won't let us.
Yeah.
And then she misses because no one's helping her with it.
Yeah, exactly. You know, she complains about the stuff that we try to help her do. You know, we try to help her, and then she refuses it, and then she complains about nobody helping her. Well, Mom, what do you expect us to do? We try to help you, but you turn it down. Okay, you refuse it because the only person that you really seem to want to do anything for you at all is Jim. So who's up whose ass here? Because, you know, Jim is going to do what Jim wants to do. Jim, you know, he can't have a romantic relationship with anybody unless he does it in secret, because anytime he has a woman that he's interested in, you know, Mom sabotages it every damn time. And you know what her answer was to that one time when I asked her, just out of curiosity? I'm like, Mom, why do you do that? Well, because he treats me differently when he's got a girlfriend. Well, of course he does. And what's really going on here, Mom, is you're pissed off because now you're not getting all of his attention. And she's like, well, put it this way. If he walks out that door, there goes my bill payer. And I'm like, whoa. Oh, what? Whoa. Damn. Yeah. Yeah. See, that's the problem, hun. That's the problem. She's in love with him. She has always been in love with him. She will not admit that she's in love with him. And he wants nothing to do with her in that way. He never has. So anytime he gets any kind of a romantic interest or a romantic, you know, girlfriend or anything, she screws it up. Because her attitude is, well, if I can't have him, nobody can. And I'm sorry, but that's selfish. And that's very petty of her. You know, and I hate seeing my mom deteriorate before my eyes. Yeah. And I think that is the core of it. I really do. I think that is the core of her misery and everything, is because out of all these 30 some odd years or whatever that he's been with us, she hopes every day that, you know, he's just gonna suddenly fall in love with her. And it's very sad. And what's worse is she's in love with him. He's in love with me. And I've never felt that way about him. I tried it once with him, and it didn't feel right to me. It was wrong in every way. And I saw the way, and I felt the way it was hurting Mom. So I ended it before it really even, I mean, like, we had basically one day together and we all went to Cedar Point, me, Jim, and Mom. And she was like miserable the entire time and kept her head down, and you could just see the sadness. And I did not want to be responsible for causing that sadness. So, and it didn't feel right to me. So I ended it with him. And still to this day, he has those feelings for me. He tries to hide it, but I know better because I'm an empath. So I can feel what he really feels when I'm around. And I try to shield myself from it. I try to block it because it's overwhelming. And I have often tried to talk to Mom about it and say, Mom, you know, I really don't, there's no positive here that I can give you. I'm sorry, but there just isn't. It's like you have spent all this time being in love with somebody that's not in love with you. I know it hurts like hell, but it's never going to change. He's never going to suddenly wake up one day and realize you're the love of his life. It's not going to happen. But you shouldn't continually punish him for it either and deny him a chance at happiness and a chance at being in love with somebody just because it's not you. And I'm not saying that to be hurtful to anybody. I'm really not. Because I have certainly been there enough times myself, falling for guys I couldn't have. But I also stood to reason and really thought about it and thought, you know what? I have to let this go because it's just not worth how much it drains the energy and life force out of a person, spending all that time and energy hoping that things will suddenly change and this person will suddenly realize that they have feelings for you. And so it's tough, it's a tough one. It's one of those, it's really hard to have a positive take on. Do I wish things were different? Do I wish that Jim would have fallen for my mom? Abso-fucking-lutely. Maybe then, she would be happy. But it wouldn't be right if it was forced either. It's like she's trying to force him to spend time with her. She's trying to force him to love her, and that's not right. That, because if the feelings aren't there to begin with, then you shouldn't try to force them to be. And it's really sad that my mom is never going to know that love. She's never going to have that special someone because she won't get out in the world enough to, even meet anybody. And I have certainly offered her a lot of times, sweetie, when I was there with the car, and it's like, Mom, if you want to go somewhere, I've got a car. It's right outside. It's got gas in it. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? I would absolutely love to go out and go shopping somewhere or something with my mom. But when I offer that continuously and she continuously refuses it, why should I keep offering it if she's just going to keep turning it down? And she turns it down because it's not Jim that's taking her. So this one is just, it's a no-win. It's a no-win situation for me. So she's just going to have to find somebody else to start getting her money for her because I just don't want to do it anymore because, Jim seems to be her world and everything revolves around him. And even though she won't openly admit that, it's like, well, since he means so much to you and obviously none of us mean anything. So, just he can start getting your money for you because, and see how long he has to do that before he's griping about it. And, because she's not going to pay him for doing it either. And there's no out here. I really wish there was. I wish there was a positive direction I could go with this, but there just isn't. I'm not wishing any ill will on my mom. I'm not wishing any ill will on Jim. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. But I'm just simply stating facts too. And I know, it does suck when you're in love with somebody that don't love you back in that same way. And living your entire life in the delusion that maybe today they'll suddenly wake up and realize they do love you and that you've been the right one for them all along, blah, 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 and it never happens. Well, then suddenly your whole life is gone and there were other loves out there that would have made you completely happy, but you never met any of them because you wouldn't even so much as step a single foot out the door to go try to meet anybody. You expect them to just miraculously come up and knock on your door. It don't happen that way, Mom. So hopefully on a good note, to get out of this doldrum that I'm dragging myself, both of us, further down in, which I don't want to do. Next weekend is opening weekend at Renfest. And Alicia's, she said she's trying to be, excited about that and everything. And I'll keep lighting the candles and, keep hoping that the energy, because she said the energy does seem to be helping. So I'm glad that it is. And I will definitely incorporate some healing in that for you to help with the migraines, and hope that it does somehow. If I could telepathically send you some of our, over-the-counter Tylenol things that you got from here that you loved that seemed to help, I would. I'd be like, zap, there you go. Your bottle should appear on the table in front of you. Don't jump. That would be fun, huh? And then it's like, hey, why don't I just pop over? Boop, there I am. How you doing? And probably scare the life out of you. But yeah, I wish we could, sweetie. I mean, I could, let's see, I can see with this another, no, I can't do that. If I get lucky enough to have any of my check left, which I don't see that happening, but if by some miracle I do end up having some of it left and I can get a bottle of those, we'll ship them to you. But it'll have to be enough to, send the pills and also be able to send the shipping costs, because I know they send it by air, and everything, because it's going across the pond and all that. So I will try to get you some. Just forgive me if I don't manage to do that this month, but I will try, and I'll keep trying. And heck, I could probably ask Norma, hey, can you help us out here? Let's get Brooke some of these, because she's suffering with these migraines. And the government's not helping her anymore, and that's not right. So Renfest, sadly, I'm not going to be able to go, obviously. Because my only chance to go would be, I could, if I had the money, but I don't. I could have possibly gone with this check, because we should get paid on the 29th. And Labor Day, I believe, is on the 2nd. Let me check my calendar. And they always, opening weekend for them is always Labor Day or something. Okay, September. Yeah, Labor Day is Monday the 2nd. So the 31st and the 1st is going to be officially opening day for Renfest, which is next weekend. Whoops, I'm getting myself all messed up here. Oh no, my brother's. Huh? Oh crap. Apparently Carl texted me at 10:26. Are you awake? Trying to work on a free laundry deal with mom for you. Need some information. Oh Christ. Oh, what did I do? So it's hang on. I'm just letting him know that I'm doing a live stream and you're on, and I'll explain later when I call him, that, this is the first time you've been, you've felt up to even being on. And I'm grateful, because we were really scared, honey. We didn't know what to do. We didn't know how to reach out. I just kept lighting candles and, hoping that, one of the times you would be okay enough to reach out. So I'm glad that worked. I've been doing something you might want to think about, because it closes tonight sometime. I'm not exactly sure when, but if you can get on that's stupid. On YouTube, there is a very specific portal called the 888 Lionsgate portal that's open. And if you go to the homepage of YouTube later and look it up or punch it into the search window, it should bring it up. It'll either be at the top of the list, or if not, you can hopefully bring it up that way. Absorb the energy. Maybe it'll help you in ways that you can't even begin to imagine. Like when I first connected with it a couple days ago, because it started, I guess it peaked on between the 8th and the 12th of August. So by the time I finally saw the video, it was like the 19th of August. So I was like, well, let's try it and see if I can hook up with it still. And yeah, it's going on until sometime tonight, but it's a very, very powerful energy. It's very versatile energy. You can use it for anything and everything you can possibly imagine. You just connect with the energy, you focus on it, and how you connect with it is watch the video. Watch it through, listen it through. You'll hear a man's voice on there, and he talks, about the energy and explains it and what it does. What happened to me when I first connected with it was I was literally sitting here in my front room, and this will make you giggle. And I was trying to think in my mind, what am I going to do for lunch? Knock, knock, knock. And I got up and I went to the door. I kept the video playing. I went to the door, and it was my neighbor, Daryl. I call him Big D because he's a real tall guy, and he smokes too. He smokes the happy stuff. That would probably do you a lot of good right now. I don't know if that would help with the migraines or not. Does it? Because I never even thought of that. I don't know if it would help. But he hands me a plate with a burrito on it that he just made. So it was hot and everything. And I was like, no way. No way. I was like, thank you. And I munched that sucker, and man, was it good. So it's like, well, I guess lunch is taken care of. Oh, goodness sakes. That was hilarious. But it shifts your awareness. It strengthens your awareness. You could use it, maybe ask for some healing for the migraines. Ask for whatever it is you guys need right now so you're not struggling. Money blessings, better health, stuff like that. But yeah, I'm not kidding. He literally, I was like, oh, wow, that's just too funny. But it's worth it. And, I definitely would like you to be able to, take advantage of it and try it, because it might actually help. And also, okay, where is it? It's around here somewhere. I also have, because I don't remember how far back I did this prayer, I have a very special prayer here that is from the Bible. And it is so powerful that the monks that discovered it in the Bible eons ago or whatever tried to keep it hidden from mankind, because if it fell into the wrong hands, it could be used for devastating purposes just as well as good. So I will read it, because I haven't read it yet. You read it once a day. I will try, to read it fairly slowly so you can write it down and then try it. Just, try some things, honey. What else have we got right now, right? And I would rather you try it, and maybe it will also help with whatever it is you need. If it's money, focus on money. If it's help with the migraines, focus on that. If it's help with health, focus on that. If it's help with, please, so we don't struggle so much anymore, just whatever it is you most need, have that be your focal thought when you read it every day. You can just read it once a day, okay? Or if I read it too fast, you can just pause it. You can go back through this later, pause it at each section, and then write it down a little bit. And because that's what I did when I found it on my phone, each section, I would wait till the section came up, then I would pause it, then I would write down what it said, then I would unpause it, let it play through, wait till the next section came up, and do the same. Okay, here we go. I am a manifestation of God and Goddess. Well, it's Christian, so you're supposed to say God, but being witches, I say God and Goddess. Because to me, God and Goddess is versatile. So I'm saying God, but I'm also, when I say Goddess, it's also referring to Mother Mary. And I have the divine right to create the life I want at this moment. I am grateful because I already have all the money I need. I wish I already had the perfect home for me. Everything I want is given to me by the grace of God and Goddess because I deserve it. Dear God and Goddess, I ask you with this prayer to eliminate from my mind all the beliefs that prevent me from connecting with your infinite wealth. Clear away any doubts, fears, and negative thoughts that block my path to abundance. Fill my mind with thoughts of prosperity, success, and wealth. Help me to release any past experiences that have caused me to believe in lack or limitation. Infuse, I-N-F-U-S-E, with the confidence to know that your riches are boundless and available to me at all times. Dear God and Goddess, convert me into a rich and prosperous person. Let your divine light shine upon my financial path, illuminating opportunities for growth and success. May my hands always be open to receive your blessings, and may my heart be filled with gratitude for the wealth that flows into my life. Guide me to make wise decisions and to recognize the opportunities you place before me. Empower me to act with faith and assurance, knowing that you are my constant source of supply. May all my desires be fulfilled easily from today onward. Yeah, thanks. Let the flow of abundance come to me naturally and effortlessly, like a river that never runs dry. I trust in your infinite wisdom to guide me toward financial freedom and security. Remove any obstacles that stand in my way, and let the path to my prosperity be smooth and clear. Help me to see the signs and synchronicities that guide me toward my financial goals. My abundant destiny is sealed by the power of Almighty God and Goddess. I will always have money in abundance, and large amounts of money will come to me easily and without any effort, because I am deserving of all the riches of this world. I open myself to the unlimited resources of the universe, knowing that I am worthy of receiving them. Let my financial success be a testament to your glory and goodness, and let it inspire others to seek their own prosperity. Bless me with the wisdom to manage my finances wisely, to invest in my future, and to share my blessings with others. Help me to use my wealth for the greater good, to uplift those around me, and to make a positive impact in the world. Grant me the discernment to know when and where to give, and the generosity to do so with a joyful heart. Let my abundance be a source of healing and hope for those in need. Dear God and Goddess, let your divine energy flow through every aspect of my life, bringing harmony, peace, and prosperity. Surround me with positive influences and supportive people who encourage my growth and success. Shield me from negativity and harm, and let your love be my constant companion. May your presence be felt in every decision I make and every step I take. And then I put Amen and blessed be. Now, if I said it slowly enough that you can write it down, great. If not, let me know, and I will literally write it all down on Signal, and then you can just copy it at your leisure, or you can just bring it up on Signal whenever you want to read it. Yes. He's going to go die now. No, he's going to lay down. Fall down. I call it fall down, go dead. You know, when you're so tired that you just, like last night, man, I was sitting here and I was like, and I just could not keep my eyes open. So I finally gave up and said, that's it. My butt's going to bed, because I'm obviously pretty much out of it. But hopefully the God and Goddess will bless us both. And I will really try, you know, if I can't afford to do it myself, I'm pretty sure that Norma will help, you know, to get the over-the-counter Tylenol things that you got. Because I think you had like 2 bottles of them or something like that, didn't you, when you were here last? You either bought 2 bottles or was it more than that? I don't even remember. Okay. How long did those last you? Did they last you a pretty decent amount of time, or do you think that maybe you could use more than that? You know, because if you want, I mean, I'll try my very best to like send you a couple bottles each month, so you can kind of stock up on them a little bit if you think they really did help. Because I know you said you were on the topiramate like I am, and it means its function is for migraines, but also weight loss. But you got to drink a lot of water with it. And I try to do that. I try to make sure that I drink like at least an entire bottle of water. But I thought, I mean, didn't you say you were having like kidney issues with it or something? Because I know that really scared me when you told me that it was like messing up the function of your kidneys or something like that. As far as I know, it's not doing that to me, but I don't want something like that taking you away from me, you know, taking you away from us. Because it does you in or something, because then I'm going to be pissed, and some people they're not going to like me very much. Oh boy. So all the more reason, sweetie, I will leave it up to you, because I'm not sure how you would even do that. But if we can get you the over-the-counter Tylenol and that does help, then take that instead of the topiramate, even if you have to throw the damn things away. Yeah, sounds like it. But yeah, that's what I would do is I just wouldn't take them, like make them think you're taking them. I mean, because I don't know if they like test you or anything to make sure they're in your system, do they? Because if they don't do that, then, just don't take them. If we can get you the Tylenol, and we will, I'm going to be optimistic here. We will get you, even if it is only 2 bottles, we will get you some. And I may even throw, maybe we'll send you a little care package. I think you would like that. Like right now, some of the stuff that I know you would absolutely love if you were here. And we would probably be going to the mall to get as much of it as we could. Because me and Norma and Christy have been doing exactly that. Okay, I'm going to have to take this off of here because it's the only way you're going to be able to really see it. See my little kitty cat here? Halloween themed miniature sanitizer holder. And the sanitizers are Halloween themed. This one is sweet cinnamon pumpkin, and it's got a really, really nice scent to it. I've got 2 of the kitty cats. And then I got my little skull dude here, if I can get a hold of him. Him. Okay. And he lights up, baby. You press his head and his eyes flash. And he's got Ghoul Friend sanitizer in him, which also smells really good. And actually, I'll show you this vampire blood lotion. And this stuff smells so good, honey. You would love it. They have gift bags of these where you get a lotion, you get a body wash, and, something else. I don't remember what. But those are really nice. Haven't been able to get one of the whole gift bags, but Wicked Vanilla Woods, which smells really good, single wick candle, and the top of the lid, as you can see, has skulls on it. See the 3 skulls? Okay, but I don't know how much longer they're going to have the whole Halloween stuff going on. So we've been trying to get over there as much as we can to get as many of them as we can. Oh, sorry. My big butt almost knocking the thing in the floor. And I got a bunch of different ones of these that they look like liquid. They're liquid in the bottle. But when you activate the nozzle, it comes out as foam, and they're hand soaps. This one is also vampire blood. Vampire blood. Perfect pumpkin. Ghoul Friend. And I have a Ghoul Friend in the bathroom. So they have sanitizers. They have the little miniature sanitizer holders. The only Halloween ones I haven't gotten yet, which I'm going to try to get at least one of each before they're gone for the season. They have a hearse that also does these little miniature bottles. They have a ghost, which I got my mom a ghost because I figured that was the most versatile that she would be accepting of. And you press the ghost, he lights up. There's one that is a pumpkin with a ghost coming out of it that's equally cute. They have 3 wick candles. Those are expensive, though, of course. They have various different candle holders, and all of this is Halloween themed. I don't know if you would be able to or not, but you could go on, if you have the ability, you could go on their website, Bath and Body Works, and see what they have left. They have body washes, they have the foam soaps, and I know, you're struggling with money and everything. If by some miracle I could possibly, even send you some of those, just surprise you one day and you get a package and it's a bunch of Halloween, stuff like that. Because next year it may be totally different stuff. They have these things that you can plug into the wall that creates a scene on the wall, and they're like night lights. Yeah, the shipping. I agree there, because when I got my order of stuff, I ended up giving 2 of my soaps away. One of them was Candy Apple Cauldron, which was green, and the Wicked Vanilla Woods. I gave the Wicked Vanilla Woods to Mom on for her birthday, as part of her birthday stuff that I got her. And I know, I hate that. And I gave Carl the Candy Apple Cauldron one because it's green, and I know he likes green. But they have these little, and I know Norma's been wanting to get one. I'm surprised she hasn't yet. They have these coffin-shaped little purses that are about yay big, that has a skeleton on the front and his legs dangle from the bottom of it, which I know you would love. They have this one haunted house that is among the most expensive. I doubt I'll get one because it's over $100. And I don't remember if it's like a wax melt warmer thing, or if it has something to do with the sanitizer dispenser, a soap dispenser, for the Halloween foam soaps. I have no idea. I don't remember. But if you look on the website, you'd probably find it. But the thing's over $100. I think it's more like in the neighborhood of, it might even be 200 something. But because I have the app, my Bath and Body Works, I was able to get a bunch of those foam soaps for like a couple bucks a piece when they normally go for a hell of a lot more. And so I ordered some stuff that way. Like right now, I'm waiting on 2 Vampire Blood single wick candles for me and Norma, and another bottle of the Candy Apple Cauldron soap and the Vanilla Wicked Woods, whatever thing that I gave my mom, because I gave those 2 away. And I also gave them some of my sanitizers because I had enough of them. So Mom ended up getting for her birthday one of these, which is Archangel incense, because Maria ended up with a shit ton of them. She got like 6 cases of these things. It was some kind of screw up on Amazon or something we did. I don't know, but she ended up with 6 of them, and she gave me like 2. And this is only like the 2nd box, I think, or the 3rd maybe, that I've opened of these already. So I gave Mom one of those. I gave her a couple of the sanitizers. I gave her the little ghost, and I gave her one of the Wicked Vanilla Wood candles, the single wick candles. She'll never use any of it. She, and this is just the standard practice. I try to get these cool things for Mom, and she won't even use them. And that's just, it's discouraging because, you're trying to do something special and unique, and giving a bunch of sanitizers and Halloween related stuff for an August 6th birthday is a little unorthodox, but I wanted to get her something nice and something from the heart. So that's why I got her those things, because it was something that I had an abundance of. So I gave her a couple of the sanitizers, one of the soaps, the candle. I gave Carl, a couple of the sanitizers, one of the soaps, but it's gonna, I'm thinking probably around, I don't know. See, you would think that they would keep the Halloween stuff going all the way up into even October, because that's when it's really going to be flying. I mean, the stuff's already flying off the shelves. Like the Vampire Blood candles we got coming. We've only been in 2 Bath and Body Works stores and 2 different malls. And they haven't had, that I've ever noticed, they have not had any of the single wick vampire blood candles. If they have any, it's usually the triple wick, the tri wick. And those are expensive. Like I said, those can be anywhere between 14, 18, even in the $20 range just to get one. They also, you would love that. You'll love this. I haven't put anything in it yet. Kitty cat soap dispenser. Pretty diamond look collar, pretty green eyes. It's empty because, like I said, I haven't put any soap in it yet. But this is also one of the Halloween things you can get. And look how big this thing is. So that's going to take a lot of soap. This thing is normally, because this is one of the more expensive ones, $24.95. $24.95 for that. So yeah, I can definitely understand, your frustration there, and mine as well, that, American frickin' shipping and handling prices is just atrocious, just ridiculous and expensive and just stupid. I don't even like ordering stuff through the mail because even being an American myself and living here and all that crap, excuse me, they, the shipping gets me too, because all the stuff I got, the box it came in was like somewhere in the neighborhood about yay big. And thank God, me and Norma were driving by the building at the time. We happened to look over to the front porch of our building because we was on our way to my mom's. And there was a box sitting there. And I'm like, oh, crap. So I had a feeling it was my Bath and Body Works stuff, and it was. So I quickly turned around, pulled into the back of the building, stayed in the car. Maria got out of the car, ran into the building, ran to the front, grabbed the box, come back out, and sure enough, it was my Bath and Body Works stuff. And if we wouldn't have been driving by right when we were and saw it and then therefore grabbed it, it probably would not have been there. I would have never gotten any of that, and somebody else would be enjoying it right now. So I was very, very happy that, that we got lucky at the time, and we was able to drive by right at the right time and see it sitting there. And this is when Amazon does this shit, it pisses me the fuck off. Yeah, very lucky. And I just immediately looked up to the sky and said, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, like a million times to the spirits for one, perfect place, perfect time, right place, right time. Two, that we was able to get it and everything, so somebody else didn't walk off with it. And three, acknowledging thank you for, helping us notice this. So my fear is they're going to do the same thing with the second box that's coming, which, because it's only going to have 4 items in it, it shouldn't be near as big. But I'm afraid they're going to do it on the front porch again. They're going to deliver it on the front porch. So if we're not, if we don't watch for it enough, then somebody could walk off with it. So I'm hoping that luck will continue, and that suddenly I'll just feel like there's a package in the front of the building. I need to go get it. Okay, I don't know what that was all about, but I just heard somebody go by and blow their horn. Okay, this is my 11:50 alarm. I have to check which one. Where's my book? There it is. But I've been doing this timetable conversion thing too. 11:51, money and family. Okay, so, well, I'm doing that right now, kind of, talking to family and sharing the prayer with you that I did, because it's really good about drawing in money and prosperity and everything. So I've been doing it every day for probably almost a month now. And yeah, I mean, I haven't like been blessed with like a huge amount of money all at one time or anything yet, but I still try to acknowledge the other ways that it helps. And it's not just money, you know. Um, trying to make sure I put my books back in my bag here the right way, because I try to go, you know, from the biggest to the smallest, and at the same time not overstuff this poor bag and frickin' rip it out at the seams or something, because this is a pretty old bag. I've had it for a while. Okay, my affirmation cards go in there. My green oracle go in there. Well, come on, green oracle, get your butt in there. And this lovely little thing I got from, I believe this was from Creepy Hollows. So it's a charged bag, and it's the sun card from the tarot deck. So it's like a you can use it to charge pretty much anything, really. This is my little pamphlet that has the conversion tables in it. So you're asking, what's the conversion tables? What do you mean? Every day of the week, there is a time allotment, a number system that I go by, and I've been experimenting with, you know, for quite a while. Well, not too long, but it seems like longer to me. And it deals with the sunrise. So you have to know when the sun rises every morning. And I check my phone every day to see when is the sun going to rise tomorrow. And each morning it's a minute longer. So like today, sunrise for us anyway was 6:51 in the morning. So you then take this conversion table that has a series of numbers. And it explains it right here. It shows you right here, gives you an example. Like this one is the best hours for love. So anything love related, family love, friendship love, romantic love, anything love related. For Thursday, today, the numbers are 1, 8, 15, and 22. So what you do is you go 1 hour ahead with it, because number 1 is the first number. So you go 7:51. And then the next number, you go 8 hours ahead. Once you figure out, okay, 6:51, you go 8 hours ahead. And then that is also a time that you can do for love stuff. And then you go 15, and then you go 22. Best times, best hours for family life. Best hours for personal matters. Best hours for money and for work. And you have a set of lucky numbers every month that if you play that same set of numbers throughout that entire month, you may just very well win something. Now, I can't promise you it's going to be a big amount, but then, you know, if you get lucky enough and it is a big amount, all the better, because let's face it, we all need money right now, right? So I have been diligently doing this every morning. And the 11:51 allotted time is something for money and family. So I try to do something money related and family related during that time. You know, not that you can't do it other times as well, because you can. But I'm trying to get into the practice of doing it every day. Now, my time conversion table won't work for you necessarily, because where I got it from, it came with this book. It's called The Golden Key to Your Personal Power. Years ago, and you can tell by the fact that I've had to already tape up the spine of it and everything, a lady, a psychic medium, whatever you want to call her, She did this book for me. And it's kind of like the birthday book in a way. It tells you your pluses. It tells you your minuses about you as an individual, your good side, your bad side, your strengths and your weaknesses. It's very complex in a way. But let's see. To give you an idea. So the only way that this time conversion thing would work is if you had one of these books done for you. And I don't even, it just says specially made for Janet Feinstein. I don't even know who the author is. This is the only time and the only thing that I got from this lady. But about your golden key to your personal inner power. Janet, after working on your horoscope, I can honestly say you have an exceptional capacity for personal power. As you explore the golden key to your personal inner power, you will find that I have used my abilities to uncover and clarify your psyche. Together, we will focus on all of your virtues and strengths so you can use them to your best advantage. Then we are going to use your spiritual strengths to make you the successful and respected person you've always dreamed of being. Let me tell you the two things I quickly realized as I began looking into your horoscope. First, it is definite that you have a vast potential for greatness. And second, by focusing on your unique abilities and downplaying your imperfections, you will come to fully experience your personal power. Your secret self. Your journey begins as we delve deeply into your spirit, the place where you encounter your secret self, the side of you that keeps hidden away. This first part of your golden key addresses how you think about yourself, your untapped talents, and the challenges you must face up to in order to experience the vast personal power you possess. In this way, you will have a solid foundation on which your new luck and power can take hold. Once this foundation is strong, you will be surprised how effortless it is to consistently make the absolute best choices for yourself. Think of it. You will enjoy a new confidence in your life. No more of those times when you are so unsure of yourself. I am here to let you know that your golden key of your personal inner power will give you the ability to shape your personality into a model of strength and inner conviction that others will aspire to. Now, I would love to share this with and be able to do this for everybody that I love and care about, you included, of course. Because it's a very in-depth, you'll read stuff about yourself that, let's face it, our darker side, we don't really like to acknowledge a lot of times. I know I don't. But when you read something like that through, and it helps you to acknowledge both sides of yourself, and you can learn to downplay the not so great side, the negative side, but at the same time, still somehow maintain your balance of your good and your dark, your white and your dark, or your light and your dark, your good side and your not so good side. So this is a very personal thing, but that little time conversion table thing came with it. So my point being, those are specifically geared to me. Now that doesn't mean that you could try to use my number system, but I don't know if it would still work for you as well as if it was specifically geared to you. You know what I mean? Like if you had the same book on yourself and it came with that timetable, but I don't remember the name of the lady that did it. Because it doesn't say. I don't think it says her name on here anywhere. Let me see. Nope, it does not say. It doesn't have her name on here anywhere. So I'm so sorry that, I have no way of even getting you the information. if I could find this again, I would definitely get it I would get one for Norma. I would get one for Christy. I would get one for Stephanie. I would get one for you. I would even get one for Michael, because, and I don't read through this thing enough myself, but because, as you can see, it is typed, the letters sometimes fade off, and I've had to rewrite some of the words because you just couldn't read them anymore. So I need to rewrite this book in like a book of shadows or something. This would be the perfect thing to put in a book of shadows, but I don't even know because of how extensive the knowledge is in here. It would take up the whole book of shadows. Just trying to write everything. So maybe a better route is just like I thought already, is just do it through notebook paper, and then just keep the notebook paper tucked into, like, keep it in my book of shadows, and make sure I put on it the golden key to your personal inner power. And so I played the lottery the other day, didn't win a darn thing. I was heartbroken because I used all of this information to the best of my ability, and I still didn't win a darn thing, and it cost me $8. So that's $8 that I no longer have now because I didn't win. And right now I don't have any money to do really anything with until we get our checks again, which won't be until the 29th of this month. So, but hopefully that prayer that I shared with you as well will be something that you can, write down for yourself and, start using it. You don't even have to read it out loud necessarily. You can just read it silently, every day. I prefer to read it out loud because I don't know. I guess because I want them to know that I am committed to, and I am doing it every day, even on days when I don't feel like doing it. I try to make myself do it. I try to get myself, especially if I wake up in a not so great mood. I try to find a way to get myself in a better mood, in a better mindset, so that I can read it, because I don't want to read it when I'm in a negative mindset, because then I feel like it's like adding fuel to the fire, and I don't need to be incinerating myself. So but it seems to be helping, I guess, in ways that maybe I don't yet realize. So I welcome it. And the 888 Lionsgate portal thing, that's been helping a lot, and it's probably going to help me in ways that I don't even know yet, because none of them have manifested, other than the ones I've already noticed, like the burrito. That one's my favorite so far, because I'm like, that is just too funny to me. But it's like, what's going to happen next? And I keep trying to maintain the focus on, the money's coming, the money's coming, the money's coming, the money's coming, and try to get myself out of the mindset of that lack and limitation thing. We were going to go to Ravenwood, like the first week of September was originally when I was going to try to do it. Me, Christy, and Norma were going to go to Ravenwood, and we were going to have 3 days there. And Norma already paid her third of that, which was $149. I had my third in my savings. I had Norma's third in my savings, and Christy was just waiting on me to tell her that, okay, I'm getting ready to book the room so she could give me her third of it. Because we've been wanting to go on this Ravenwood trip for a while. And you can take up to 4 people, and it doesn't cost extra. We even invited Stephanie to go with us. Because she's still having issues with that Kevin asshole. And She filed a restraining order against him, and he's violating it. He won't stop phone harassing her. I did a banishment spell bottle on him. Yeah. And he's a lazy layabout freeloader is about the halfway gentlest way I can put it. And he's abusive, and he's violent, and he's back on the drugs, and he would not get a job. He wasn't even trying to help her pay for the rent and bills. For a short time there, she was all happy and excited because this childhood sweetheart of hers came along, and his name's Jeff, also a black man. That she was hopeful that him and her were going to hook up. But until the Kevin situation is eliminated, they're not going to be able to. And now Jeff is not even talking to her or reaching out to her or anything like that. And I think that's wrong, because if he truly loves her and does want to be with her, then he's not going to run away from her and leave her on her own when she needs him the most. And according to her, Kevin has been threatening her people. And I'm guessing that maybe one of those people was somehow horribly, he found out about Jeff. So I'm not sure how to feel about Jeff at this point, because if he truly loves her, he would fight for her. He would stand at her side, and he would do whatever he could do to keep her safe. And so she's wanting to get away anyway. She's wanting a weekend away. And I told her, I said, there's one way that I know of that we could maybe pull this off, that Kevin should not be able to follow you, because we've already agreed. I'm not going to go and pick her up at her place, because then it's too risky that he'll see us. But we will agree on a designated place that she can easily get to, that I will also be at, waiting for her, but I'll be hidden as much as I can be. And then when she's getting close, I'll be like, okay, this is where I'm at. This is how you find me. And then she'll, it's like, make sure you kind of glance around you. Don't be obvious, but glance around you. Make sure you don't see him anywhere before you get too close to the car, because as soon as you get close enough to the car and get in, I don't want him following us. And we're gonna both come over here to Norma's, and we're just gonna both spend the weekend down there at her place. It's right here in the building. It gets her away from Kevin for a weekend, and it gives her a break. And she can't be any safer than in this building, because the only way Kevin would be able to get in is he would either have to break a window, which is going to wake somebody up. The cops are going to be called. And before the son of a bitch could even get in the window, I would have his ass knocked out cold, because I would just be reactionary. And I'd be like, Bliff, motherfucker, you ain't getting in here. And he would be out cold. So then the cops could come, and I'd be like, yeah, his body's over there in the side yard. I had to punch him because, as you could see, my knuckles are bloody now, and he broke through my friend's window to get at us. So I think he meant us harm. And I was just defending and protecting myself and my sister, my friend, and have them cart him off to jail again. So I'm scared for her. And I just don't know what weekend we're going to be able to do this, because I don't know if this weekend I haven't. I've been trying to reach out to her, but she either can't answer or she's been too busy. But Carl don't like Stephanie, so I made the mistake of letting him know that I was talking to her again, and of course, all he had to say was negative shit. Don't get involved with her. She's trouble. She's not worth it. Blah, blah, blah. Just because you don't like her, Carl. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. The hell you're not. I'm just texting her real quick. So I don't know if she's working right now or what. I can quit typing wrong. Trying to also be careful what I text. So I was letting Stephanie know that this weekend is available, but next weekend isn't because I'm helping Carl with something. But it's going to give me an extra $100 in my pocket. And now I just got a text from Carl. He asked me if I was on my computer. I said yes. I said I'm doing a live stream, and he's already doing the pissy thing. I only need 5 minutes of your time and something about never mind. So I'm not even going to look at the text at this point because it's probably just going to be negative. And I'm already getting negative stuff from Mom. I don't need it from him too. So I'm not even going to go there. But Stephanie, I'm hoping that, she will maybe want to do it this weekend. Because next weekend, like I said, is when I'm helping Carl. He wants to do it on Sunday, which is the 1st, I think. So he wants to get a U-Haul truck. He wants me to help him get his stuff out of storage down here in Columbus and take it up there to his place. And one of the ideas I was playing around with, which is probably the one that I'm still going to go with at this point, because the only other option would be spending the night at his place. And I really don't feel comfortable doing that because I don't know what he might do. Because of some inappropriate things that have happened in the past, I don't trust him, and I don't feel safe spending the night with him. Not even a single night. I just don't. So I thought, okay, he's wanting to do this early in the morning as usual. I would set my alarm on my phone for 8 o'clock in the morning. Me get up, get dressed, get some breakfast down me real quick. Maybe grab me some of my iced coffee or whatever, and then go over to Mom's, sit in my car, wait, because Mom's not going to be up, not 8 o'clock in the morning. Sit there in my car, wait for Carl to arrive. Once he does, I'll lock up my car. I'll turn on the alarm. I know it's safe there. Nothing will happen to it. Nobody will bother it. And then I'll get in the truck with Carl. We'll go to the storage unit. We'll load everything onto the truck, take it up to his place, unload it, and then he'll bring me back down to Mom's, to my car, and then, maybe hang out for a few minutes, and then he'll probably take off. Because at least that way I'm in control and it's on my terms. Because my greatest fear, and I hate to say this about my own brother, I really do, but I'm afraid that he would expect me to perform some X-rated act on him, or he would try to get me to, do something with him, to the point that I wouldn't feel safe even sleeping in the front bedroom unless I had a butter knife in the door frame, keeping him from being able to get in. And if he tried, then I would know, because if he twisted the doorknob and tried to push on it, he ain't getting in, because the butter knife would stop him. And my thought would be this: why would he even be doing that in the first place? Okay. I would have to, anytime that I had to get up and use the bathroom in the night, which sometimes is, a couple of different times that, because there's a bathroom like really close to the bedroom I would be sleeping in. But the other bathroom, the one that's all the way in the back, which is where his master bedroom is, that he don't even use for a bedroom. He uses it for storage right now. And his bed that he sleeps on is in the living room. So you have to go from the front of the trailer all the way to the back to use the bathroom. So my fear would be that every time I got up and did that, also that I would be disturbing him and that I would get bitched at or get snapped at or something like that. And all I'm trying to do is use the bathroom. And I would try to be quiet and, not wake him up and this and that. But I don't want the stress of going through any of that. And just being afraid that he, like I said, he would expect me to commit some kind of incestuous act with him that I just would not be comfortable with. Because, I mean, he's already propositioned Chris. I told you about that eons ago. I never looked at the text message because I didn't want to, because I was so livid and horrified at the thought that my brother would stoop so low as to proposition my boyfriend when I've never propositioned any of his girlfriends. I only ever tried to be a friend to them. And he saw it fit to proposition my boyfriend. So yeah, you can understand why I'm a little leery about spending the night at his place or anything like that. Now, going up there to visit him, where I'm only up there for a few hours and then I'm going home, you know, I'm in my car. Again, I'm in control. You know, it's my terms, not his. Then I'm okay with that, you know, and he's not tried anything so far in that way. But spending the night, I just don't feel safe. I don't feel safe and I don't feel comfortable. So I'm not going to do it. There is too many skeletons in the closet of past family members. Some of them are not even here anymore because my grandpa was one of them, that committed incestuous acts. And that has always bothered me about our family, about this family, because it horrifies me that anything like that would even go on. And so, yeah, it makes me a little leery. So now Carl's pissed at me because I won't just drop what I'm doing and supposedly give him 5 minutes of my time, which that 5 minutes very quickly turns into 2 hours of listening to his endless yammering about whatever. It's like he gets on a topic and he just don't know how the hell to shut up. It's like, Carl, I don't mind talking to you, bro, but I got shit to do. Okay? Just like you just told Mom recently yourself. We all have lives. Okay? And, you know, you cannot expect me to keep just doing this and giving you my time in this way when I got other shit I got to do. And if I say anything like that to you, you get mad at me for that. Because then you say that I'm making it seem like, well, I ain't got time for you right now. That is not what is going on here at all. Okay. For one, I haven't talked to my daughter Brooke in a long time. 2, she just lost her cat, you son of a bitch. You know, I mean, she's grieving over that. We were both crying about that today, and I didn't tell him anything. Like I said, I'm not even going to look at the text. The last I texted to him was, he said, "Are you on your computer?" And I said, yes, because that's how you do a live stream, is you do it on a computer. I don't know how to do it on my phone. I've tried to figure out how to do it on my phone, but I haven't figured it out yet. And I know that even if I do finally figure out how to do it on my phone, it's going to kill my battery within probably a matter of minutes, because your phone is not generally made to do live streams with, you know, like if it's an emergency video that you're trying to get somewhere because you're in peril, or you've had an accident somewhere and you don't know how else to summon help, you know, then that might not be such a bad thing. But I don't even know, like, I've done recordings on my phone before with video. And I mean, I did fine with those, but as far as like uploading them to YouTube or anything like that, I don't know how to do that, because I'm not tech savvy in that way like Chris is. And you might even know how to do it. I don't. So, but right now I'm, you know, you're more important to me than anything that Carl's trying to do or anything going on with him, because it is so hard for us, you know, to get together a whole lot or talk a whole lot, because suddenly, you know, it feels like someone literally just walked in the room and dropped a bomb in the middle of your front room, and everything just boom, you know, all over the fucking place. And, you know, you're trying to get through it as best as you can. I mean, that's all any of us can do. And if we can get each other through it, by doing something like this. That's a good thing too, because it helps us both. Because even though I might not be able to see you or I might not be able to hear you, you're still here, and I'm glad that you can hear me and see me. So, I'm okay. Other than the hurtful stuff, going on. Me, Norma, and Christy we had this crazy dream about, one of the other road trips we were going to take was to Salem, Massachusetts. And I just don't think that's going to happen either. Because even though I went through all the, not trouble, but all the research and everything I did to find us the best hotel that's the closest to Salem, to Massachusetts, to where we want to go, where Enchanted is, and all the cool witchy stuff going on and all the witches walking around. There was a hotel I found that was like, 5.5 miles away or something. And I thought, that's pretty decent. And it was some kind of hotel called like Knights Inn or something to do with knights, like KNIGTH, GHTS or whatever, like a knight in shining armor. And the rooms, I looked in the rooms and they seemed pretty decent. You got Wi-Fi in there. You got, I believe they had like little kitchenettes, if I'm not mistaken, where you could literally cook your breakfast in there if you wanted. So that would be helpful because I could use maybe a little bit of my food stamps to get us some food that way. Take the cooler, the big red and white cooler, to do some cold snackables in. And then because it takes literally 12 hours to drive from here to Salem, Massachusetts, I was going to break it up into 4-hour intervals. Like I would drive for 4 hours. We would stop at a rest area, or if there wasn't a rest area available, we would just pull off safely to the side of the road somewhere if we could. So traffic could go by us and we didn't get like smashed or run over or anything like that. Hit, or anything, or the car. And then take a little bit of a break, get out, stretch our legs, and stuff. And then get back in the car, and then Christy could drive for 4 hours. Then we could get out and we could repeat that scenario. And then I would drive the remaining 4. So that way, not one person is driving the whole 12, because that's just crazy. I mean, I don't want to put either one of us through that. We were going to go when the weather was nice, which it's nice right now. Because the closer it gets to winter and fall and fall and winter and stuff like that, the colder it's going to get there. Because they're by the water. It's like I've even heard this from people that actually live there, that work in the Enchanted shop, Lori Cabot's shop, the Witch of Salem. And I know I've ranted about that, but she, because they live there, and people that work in her shop live there. They're like, oh yeah, the winters are really bad here. Well, the winters in Columbus are bad, so that's not a big deal to me. And I've found some really, really cute like apartments and stuff that I allowed myself to dream about, during times when I was feeling down, and it would be so nice to be in this little place and, have this little apartment. And then you look through the pictures and you're like, oh my God, it's so pretty. And then I would imagine in my mind how I would decorate it all nice and witchy. And it would be mine, it would be my baby. It would be my creation. I would get to decorate it the way I want to decorate it. And, have other witches over and, use it as kind of like a vacation home in a way. And, if I decide after I've been there for a weekend even, and it's the middle of winter, at least I would be able to tell. And what better way to tell what it's going to be like than to be there. And it's like, if I can't even handle a weekend there in the winter, okay. And if I did something like a vacation home with it, then I would just go during the spring, fall, or summer. You know, easy enough done. And I just wouldn't go in the winter. Freaking nose is running and itching and all over the freaking place here. But it was just so nice, and it would be so nice to be able to just have a weekend up there. And I think that hotel I found for us would have been perfect, because it had I believe it had like 2 full-size beds, or 2 beds in it that you could fit 2 people in easily. The only problem is we would have to end up taking an air mattress for one of us, because Christy and Maria both don't like sleeping with anyone else in the bed with them. So, like, neither one of them would feel comfortable sleeping next to me. They would want to sleep on their own, mattress or whatever. And I don't think a place is going to accommodate us and bring a 3rd bed in. They might, if they had a rollaway bed or something, which some hotels do, or motels or whatever. But I don't know if this particular one is like that, or one of those. And Christy, she was even looking for some places, and I want to say it was like Mississippi or one of those kind of places, that she said she went there before in her childhood or in her younger days with family, and she was there for just a short time or something. So it was probably like a vacation or something, and she loved it. She loved it there, and she showed me some beautiful houses, girl. Beautiful houses with, especially if you get one that has a lot of bedrooms, then, you can accommodate more family or friends if there's somebody that you're close enough to that's like family that would like to come and live there. Then there you go. Just set the room up the way you want it. And, we would definitely do that for you and the boys for sure. We would set up a room for the boys if we had enough rooms to do that. And we would set up a room just for you, so you could decorate it the way you wanted, and that would be Brooke's room, It would be a fun project, but sadly not really a plausible one, because even though me and Norma would be able to both still get SSI there, even though some figures that I looked up apparently were the wrong ones. And I actually talked to some of the people in the enchanted shop and asked them, how hard and how expensive is it for a single person? Just throwing it out there, because Norma's single, Christy's single. How much would it take to live in Salem? And they said, well, the apartments go fast and they're very expensive, because they are. They're usually in the $1,000 range plus, to get an apartment. The apartments go fast. The winters are bad. And I did some further research and found out that for one person, just one person, to live there for a whole year, over $42,000. And it's like, what? Holy mother of wow. Okay, forget it. That ain't happening. Yeah. I was like, say what? And this is the part that really got me and Norma so fired up. We were ready to move, buddy, right then. But these are also, according to Chris, inappropriate figures or amounts that we would get. Okay. I looked up how much would an individual get on SSI if they lived in Salem, Massachusetts. $1,228 or something like that. And my eyes fell out of my head. I was like, what? And Maria, she did too. She said, what? Say what? Say that again? I'm like, look for yourself. She's like, oh my God. She's like, let's go right now. Let's go. I'm like, yeah, right. If it was only that easy, right? But Yeah, I was, if we could get that kind of money, I was like, oh my God, if that, okay, let's think of that on the basis of 3 people. Okay, say me, Norma, and Chris. That would be, and we got, if we got that amount, that would be what? Let's see. I even brought it up on a calculator and everything. We, in my opinion, we would have plenty of money to pay rent, pay bills, keep food in the house, and just about anything else that we could think of that we would need as a necessity or, whatever. And then still be able to give ourselves some treatsy things too once in a while. Um, but I was just dumbfounded, and I was like, oh my God, can you imagine over $1,000 a month for shit for SSI? Damn, that would be fucking amazing, considering here, right now, me and Chris, we only get like $9.43 a piece every month. And that may seem like a lot to people, but it's not. It's really not. It goes so fast, and the bills just eat it up, you know. And when your rent and bills are paid and everything, you're lucky if you have, a lot of times you're lucky if you have $20 left. I got another giggle here for you, because you know how I am about these. Your little spell candles that I absolutely love. I found 2 different boxes that only had a couple in each box. So I combined them together and was able at one time, for a short time, I had both of these filled. And this one has mostly black candles, which, black candles are not always easy to come by, unless it's around Halloween. But, Witch Lab, they're pretty good about, they always have them. You just got to go down there when you got the money to and get some. Whoops. But, yeah. So you understand what I'm saying. I'm trying to keep things peaceful and everything right now, because we don't need any more stress. We just don't. And, like he said earlier, he's already suffered another a stroke. And the day that happened, I've never, been so scared in my life. And it wasn't a very comfortable feeling. I mean, because like several hours went by of agony because we didn't know where he was. We didn't know what hospital they had taken him to. So we had no way of, even like calling up there or anything to see how he was doing. I was a basket case. I was so stressed that I almost had a nervous breakdown. He was, we were sitting in the front room here one day and everything seemed fine, just, normal everyday stuff, right? He got up, went in the kitchen, and I could hear him in there. It sounded like he was doing something, so I didn't think much of it. And then all of a sudden, I heard what I thought sounded like, "I need help." But it was garbled. It was didn't sound normal. It was more like, "Ah!" And I was like, "What the hell?" So I went in there and saw Chris sitting cross-legged on the floor, facing the kitchen window, and he couldn't talk. All of a sudden he said, "I don't know what's happening to me." And then his speech, it was like his speech just left him. Every attempt he made to try and communicate with me, and when he couldn't get it out, he was like pounding on the fucking sink and screaming or trying to scream because he was so angry and frustrated that he couldn't talk. The whole time this is going on, he's, it's kind of like those near-death experiences, okay, where it's like time literally seems like it slows down or almost fucking stops because your brain is trying to understand and comprehend what it's witnessing, even though every fiber of my being, I knew, okay, something's obviously fucking wrong here. What is it? He kept trying to get what he was trying to get out was he wanted me to call 911. And finally, something in me went, "You want me to call 911?" And I said it out loud, and he went like this. I was like, "Okay, I'll call 9." And I called 911. They come out here. Oh, criminy. I'm trying not to cry right now because this is how bad this messed me up. And why I'm scared for myself because of the amount of stress that this put me through. And him too, the ambulance came out. And they brought a mobile stroke unit truck out as well. I didn't even know that such a thing existed until that day. I somehow managed to tell them somewhat calmly on the phone that my partner has suffered a stroke. I need someone out here right away. He can't speak. He can barely walk. I had to help him get dressed. I had to help him to the couch. When they finally took him down, I don't remember if they put him in the stroke unit first or if they put him in the ambulance first. I don't remember. But when they put him in the stroke unit, one of the officers came up to me. I can make power of attorney. Sorry, power of attorney. Listen to me. Power of attorney. So I can make medical decisions for him. And if something happens that's so bad that he ends up getting hooked up to the machines and stuff, and the machines are keeping him alive, I get the lovely job of deciding when he dies, when to pull the plug, when to turn it off. And then I'm the one that's going to have to make all the phone calls to any of his remaining family, which I'm sorry to say, but I don't think would give two shits that he was gone. So the medical person asked me, he said, we do have it was some kind of medicine or some kind of injection that they could give him, because this one was bad. It somehow, a blood clot had formed in his brain, and those are the kind that can take your ass out. It can kill you so quick, you don't even realize what's happened until you're out of your body and you're like, what the hell? And you can't get back in because it's just given up. And it's not. It just, it don't work anymore. And he said, do you want us to give this injection? They said there's like a very minor side effect that could happen, or it might not. So there was a small risk involved, and I had his life in my hands, and I didn't like that feeling. So I took a chance and I told him to go ahead and give it to him in the hope that it would save his life. And it did. Pretty quick. It started acting pretty quick. And he was like talking normal again, and, felt better and better every second that passed by, when the stroke unit finally started carting him off to the hospital and didn't bother telling me which one they were taking him to. And then once he was gone, all I could do was cry, because I realized this could be it. This could be, he might not come back. And I have to prepare myself for that possibility. Our neighbor, Peggy, that lives around the corner from the back of our building, and Peggy and Kip, I don't think you ever got to meet them. But Peggy, as soon as the stroke unit was there and she knew it was Chris, she started praying right then and there, right there by the mobile unit. Jesus is good. Jesus is good. Everything's fine. Chris will make it. He'll be fine. And she was just praying and praying, and she did not stop until the ambulance and the stroke unit left. So while he is at whatever this mystery hospital is, I'm having to deal with, I'm the one that has to make all the phone calls to everybody to let them know what's happened. And every time I did that, it was like I was reliving that again and again and again and again. And I couldn't stop crying. I could hardly get a sentence out without crying. At one point, Christy came over and I told her what happened. And she's like, oh my God, are you okay? And I said, no, I'm not. And when I told her, I don't know where he is, I don't know how to find out where he is. And I only had his actual name to go by. Well, they didn't have him under his actual name because of the severity of the stroke. They had him under a code name. And when I found that out finally, which it took some doing, but when we finally figured out where he was, I was pissed. Because of the anguish that it put me through, not knowing where he was, having to be the one to make the damn phone calls. And they still, to this day, don't know what caused it. And strokes run in his family. His mom and dad are already both gone. And this is the part that I fear nobody understands. Is the stress of being with him is killing me. And I can't take it. I'm surprised I'm not in the hospital already myself from a nervous breakdown. And I'm scared that one of these times the stress is either going to take me out, him, or both of us. And he still won't quit smoking. Which I'm not saying the smoking caused it, but they can't seem to determine what did, and that scares me worst of all. Because if they can't even determine what caused it, if it happens again, it could kill him, and I'm going to have to deal with that. And please don't take this the wrong way when I say this, but knowing now that he himself even though he's a grown man and he seems to be fully functional, for the most part, he's also autistic. And I asked, don't take it the wrong way, because I don't want you to think I'm talking down on autism or anything like that, because, my beautiful babies, your boys, 2 of them are autistic. I've never, read any books on it or anything yet. To at least try and educate myself. And maybe in this case with me and Chris, find ways to, develop a better understanding of the way he views things, the way he does things, and why, and
that, things have to be a certain way before he can be comfortable and stuff like that. But because he waited so long to tell me, now this is just one more thing being thrown in my lap, and I don't know how to deal with, because when he yells at me over something, or snaps at me, or has one of his angry outbursts, I just want to pack my shit and walk out the door and not come back, because I can't take it. Because he gets so vicious, so brutal, so hurtful and mean, that my heart just can't take it. My deep sensitivities feel like they're being ripped into pieces every time he does. The week and a half that it took us to get this place cleaned up so that the slumlord could spray for bugs, I was in the living room trying to get stuff out of the way so that Joe could have access to the baseboards that he needed to be able to spray the stuff. But because this stuff is so lethal, you have to contain your cats or your pets in some way until the stuff's had a chance to dry, because you don't want to run the risk of them brushing up against it, licking it off their fur, and then they've poisoned themselves. So he let Bella outside until it was safe to let him back in. He put Boo in a carrier by himself. He tried to catch Carmela and Kalika, him and Norma both, and they were having a hard time of it. And all I was trying to do was, get the front room ready so Joe could spray it. I thought they could handle it, Kalika and Carmela kept running from them. Carmela ended up running under the bed and hiding under the bed in the bedroom. And hopefully she didn't get any on her, because I'm sure if we would have noticed by now. But I just hope she stayed away from it. So at one point, he comes in the front room and he fucking yells at me that it's more important right at that moment to help him catch the cats, or do you want them dead, is what he yelled at me. And I mean, I felt like he had literally just walked up and slapped me across the face as hard as he could when he did that. So I stopped what I was doing. And managed to finally get a hold of Kalika, which she wasn't happy, and I had to hold her in such a way that I didn't like. That was very uncomfortable for me. But I had to hold her that way, because if I would have tried to hold her any other way, she would have scratched the fuck out of me. But Chris wouldn't have cared about that as long as I got her in the damn carrier. He did apologize later, several times, but that's not the point here. This has been the pattern of things for 17 fucking years, and I'm tired of it. I am tired of being snapped at. I'm tired of being yelled at. And I'm not saying he does it every day. I'm not saying he does it 24/7. I know that when those angry outbursts happen, he can't help it. But it just drives me further and further away from him, to the point that I don't even want to be around him at all anymore. because I don't know when the next outburst is going to happen. Even if it's something innocent that I say or do that I had no intention of pushing his button or pissing him off or triggering him in some way, and I'm getting my head bit off again. And this is going to continue to be the pattern as long as I'm with him. And my heart just can't take it. So now my life very quickly becomes, when am I going to be snapped at next, and for what? How much longer am I going to have to keep walking around on eggshells? And even that don't make any damn difference. Because there's always going to be something that's going to make him fucking snap at me and yell at me and make me just want to walk out the door and say, you know what? Fuck you. You're on your own. I'm out of here. I've had it. I have fucking had it. And I hate to feel that way. I really do. But I have to be, I owe it to myself to be honest about just how much this whole thing is fucking me up every day. And that this is going to be my life forever until one of us passes away. That's why me and the girls, me, Norma, and Christy, and it's not like we do it every single weekend or anything like that, even remotely like that. We do it when we can. Christy, she works a lot of double shifts, and she's supposed to have weekends off. But 9 times out of 10, she's working on weekends, and that's when she's doing double shifts. So that her day off suddenly becomes Monday. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to be available because, you know, Chris and Norma might have 2 or 3 fucking appointments in a same week to go to the doctor. Like Chris just had 2 in 2 days in a row. And so, you know, that kind of keeps you from doing a whole lot because you got to provide the transportation so they can get to those appointments because those are important. And sorry, just don't cut it anymore. It's just not enough. So even though I can tell he's being genuine when he says it, and I can tell that he feels regret when he says, you know, when he that does happen and he does snap at me because he's stressed himself and this and that. But I'm just to the point to where I'm about to say, you know what, just don't even bother apologizing to me anymore because you're just going to do it again. I can't be happy and in love with someone that's autistic, which is something that I don't understand and I don't know how to work through. so that we can have a common ground to stand on and a way to communicate where nobody's being hurt. Both people feel like they're being heard and understood and accepted, and let's work on a plan to overcome it. I just don't. I don't want this to be my life anymore. And all I know is everything I've tried so far to make positive changes, nothing's working. So when money's tight, like it always is, and I know you can relate, and through all this, what I miss the most still? Is the time we spent together when you had your shop on TikTok, and me still being able to have the money to buy stuff from you, because I really don't want to buy it from anybody else, because you're my daughter. And you need it more and deserve it more, because I know how much you and the boys are struggling. So when a month goes by that I can't even help you in that way, it really hurts me. I love you too. This is how much. I was this is some of the intensity of the connecting with the portal energy, just to warn you now. Because it said that it can bring up stuff, emotions, especially intense emotions that you've been wanting to get out, but you couldn't, And when they do come out, it's like a tidal wave, and you're like, oh shit. And you and I already have enough to cry about, so I'm trying not to. You know how I a lot of times do my laundry at my mom's? Well, there was more than one reason why I liked going there to do it. There was a time when, and I did it for, I don't know, a long time. I don't know exactly how many months or anything. I never thought to write it down. Maybe I should have. But just to show Mom, this is how many times I have paid you $10 every time I did laundry here, because that's about what we would spend if we, had quarters and we paid to have it done here. Because it's $1.75 to wash a load here, and it's $1.50 to dry it. And I think that's pretty fucked up of Joe to do that to people that are already struggling, that don't have a bunch of money to use like that, but he don't care. Because some of the dark side of him, through different actions that he's done and everything, and things he refuses to do, he's what makes other good Jews in the world look bad. Because I'm not saying he don't care about the building. He does try to keep things up. This is like literally, I guess, the only building he has now. But he's not maintaining it. He's not taking care of it. He's not getting shit fixed. The apartments are falling apart, and we don't have any money to fix everything that needs fixed in our place. And he refuses to fix anything that we've asked him to fix in the 17 years that we've been here. And I don't even know anymore how many years he's been the landlord here. So there was a while there I was giving Mom $10 because it felt like the right thing to do, because I'm using her water and everything. And I know that can cause the water bill to go up. And then one day when I was over there quite recently, before yesterday's unfortunate, inappropriate event from her and Jim both and their actions, Mom told me that their water bill had gone up considerably. And I felt absolutely terrible because I had stopped paying her the $10 because I needed the $10 myself to help keep gas in the car and stuff like that when we really needed it, even if that was all we had. I tried to always keep at least $10 stashed away somewhere that we could use to put gas in the car if we had no other way to put gas in the car. So I wasn't doing it to suddenly be mean or take advantage of her or take her for granted or anything of the sort. So I told her, I said, okay, how about this? When I get my check this time, I will give you $50 to help with that bill. She said, give it to Jim. I said, okay, because Jim is the one that primarily pays the bills. Just like here, Chris is the one that primarily pays the bills. I pay the rent, and any additional personal stuff on the side, that for myself, that I pay. Like different apps or something, that I have, like Prime, Amazon Prime. It's only I think it's like $6.99 a month, and that's the discounted price. So that when you get certain items, if they have the little Prime symbol next to them, then you don't get charged for shipping. So I was all set to give her or give Jim that $50, to help pay for what I was using, because I had to stop paying for a while. And then somewhere along the line, Jim wanted me to order, like I said, the diamond paintings and stuff for him. He was going to give me 50 for that. I was going to order the stuff for him, wait till it got here, and then just take it over there. But now, I'm reluctant to still pay the $50 because of how they're treating me now. And I don't think there's a good reason. I don't think it's for a good reason that they reacted the way they did yesterday. And now suddenly, I guess Jim didn't want me to get the stuff, so I just deleted it from my cart. Now, I do remember Mom saying something about, at some future time that, she might ask me to, take her to Bambi's. But it was my understanding that that was going to be a mother-daughter thing, and Jim wasn't necessarily going to be there. It was just going to be me and Mom. So that's what I was waiting for. But little did I know that when they asked me to take them to Bambi's yesterday, nobody told me that it wasn't so much Jim asking as Mom. Now, if I would have been told that Mom was asking, then maybe I would have tried to go, because she did say that she wanted us to go together to it. And, like I said, they were going to put gas in the car. They was going to treat me to lunch. Well, after being on the phone with Carl for 2 hours, I didn't feel up to it. So I did what I felt was the right thing for me. And I told them I didn't feel up to it. And I told you how they reacted. Well, we're on our way to Bambi's and then we'll eat, and then I'll see you later. It just like on our way to Bambi's, then eat, see you later. And then that was it. And I'm like, what the hell? Okay, I guess he don't want me to get this stuff now. Fine, whatever. And now Carl's all of a sudden saying, I might have a way for you to get free laundry done over at Mom's. And I'm going, now I'm all confused again because it was Carl, before him and I started talking again, initially that was bitching because I had stopped paying Mom the $10 every time I went to do laundry there. And I'm like, okay, all right, what's going on here? I'm obviously missing something. And because I didn't answer him and I didn't stop my live stream and just to answer him, he's like, never mind. And when he does that never mind shit, that's him being pissy because now he's fucking lashing out at me. And for what? I'll tell you, if I had the money and I had a passport, I would so be on my way to the United Kingdom right now and try to arrange to find somewhere to stay, or I don't even know, just to get a vacation and get a break from all this because I don't know what the hell's going to happen next. And I don't want to end up in the hospital over a fucking nervous breakdown. And this shit keeps coming at me like this. I feel like I've just been cast in the middle of the ocean with no boat, and I'm getting tired of treading water, and I'm about to drown. And I'm not going to get any help. Nobody's going to save me. Yeah. So is it any wonder that I'm even though there's times of calm, like right now, Chris is back up. I think he's in the kitchen smoking or something, and everything. I enjoy the times of calm, but I'm a little fearful of how long they're going to last before the next thing hits me. And what is it going to be? And how brutal. And it's like, oh boy. So anyway, if you do decide to try and connect with that energy, just like I said, prepare yourself, because you just witnessed it. It does kind of bring up some emotions that, you need to get out, that maybe you don't even know you need to get out. But all you can do is ride the wave. Just ride the wave and hopefully have the strength to, get through it. And I'm trying. I'm trying to get through it. I hope you can too. And I hope it helps, because that's really like all we've got at this point, right? Is just, you got to try some things and hope that you find something that works. And I will talk to Norma about getting you some of those over-the-counter Tylenols, because at least get you 2 bottles, get them on their way as soon as possible, because those do seem to help. So, and like I said, I don't know how long those 2 bottles lasted you when you had them before. So, but like I was just recently, I don't remember if I said anything on the live stream yesterday about it or not. I remember Vicky asking me about you, and I wasn't sure, what to say. I said, I hope she's okay. I hope we didn't lose her altogether. And, because we didn't know what was going on. I thought that, well, it must be something pretty severe, so we were just kind of waiting and hoping. And, but I was talking about your shop, and that, as far as I know, I said, I don't even know what you have left as far as stuff at your house that you still have left that you could sell, so that would maybe give you a little bit of money there. And that's why it bothers me, every month that goes by that I can't do that. Because when I can do that, it makes me feel a little better, because at least I'm helping in some way, in that sense, where you guys really need it. I don't know like how much of that money you keep yourself, or if you have to send a certain percentage, if you have to reinvest it or anything into other products, or if you're just like selling whatever you have left. And then once that's gone, that's all you can do right now. So I'm glad you didn't give up on us, because I just wasn't sure, honey. I didn't know. And I kept trying to find you, but I didn't know how to find you. And Michael said TikTok, and he said something about Goblin Girl candles. And I was like, well, the only other thing I could think of was possibly to try and get TikTok back on my phone, because that way, I remember I could like text you that way and get messages to you and stuff. And that was how I used to always enjoy, watching your shop. And when you had it, through them. Good. I'm glad, because I know how hard it's been just dealing with Michael, because you want to pull your hair out sometimes, but I love him dearly, but sometimes a lot of times I don't know what to say, to him either. And so I get kind of tongue tied, because I'm afraid to say the wrong thing, or I'm afraid I'll say something, and even though I have good intentions, he takes it wrong, and then he's mad at me now. And I'm innocent. I wasn't trying to make anybody mad. But in Yet another attempt on my part to talk about something positive that I'm trying not to kick myself over because I didn't notice until too late. And I don't know, like how many of my live streams you've been able to look at or anything, but August 13th, or sorry, July 13th. It wasn't August 13th, it was July 13th. Me and Norma had gone to the mall, and they have these certain tables that have 4 chairs with them that are literally the most comfortable chairs in the entire food court, because the rest of the chairs are plastic. These chairs that we sit in are low to the floor, but you can actually lean back in them because that's the way they're designed. They lean back. So you have this nice round marble table, and you have these chairs that are low to the floor, and they're comfortable, so you can sit there and eat your lunch or whatever, and then kick back and chill for a little bit while your food's digesting, because if I get up too soon after eating, I'll start cramping, and I won't be able to walk much, without being in pain. So I have to sit for a few minutes to give my food a chance to start digesting or whatever, and I try not to make it too long. And then we'll get up and we'll start walking around, looking around in the stores again, or decide, if we want to call it a day or whatever and go home. Well, this one particular day has literally been so far the only time I have had my mind blown because of what happened. I had cast a spell several weeks before this and asked to meet a certain celebrity just to see what they're like, just to see if I could get along with them, see if they were cool people or if they were jerks, right? And no, it's not Sigby, unfortunately. But so me and Norma are sitting there taking a break because it was one of the times I had to sit down because I had been walking, long enough that my back was hurting and stuff. And I had to sit down and rest it. So we're sitting there, this beautiful, drop dead, gorgeous, tall, curvy, blonde that looked like Aphrodite herself. I kid you not. She had on a like a crop top with like the thin spaghetti straps, and she was very voluptuous. It was beige. She had a pair of long pants on that kind of flared at the bottoms a little bit. She had long white nails, and her hair was down past her bum. Okay, it was that long. And she was wearing some kind of I don't know if they were sandals, clogs, or whatever, but they were nice. They really brought the outfit together and everything. I remember her walking up, and she stopped near our table at first, and she was looking on her phone. So I thought, well, maybe she's trying to meet up with somebody, or she's checking the time, or who knows. But I mean, I noticed her as soon as I was like, oh my God. I mean, she was just stunning to look at. And then in the blink of an eye, this beautiful goddess sat down at our table, and my fucking jaw dropped. I was like, okay. And she said, is it hot in here or is it me? And I had to hold my tongue to keep myself from saying, honey, the only thing hot in here is you. I mean, she was gorgeous. She could definitely play Aphrodite in a movie. I'm telling you. And I'm sitting there and I'm like dumbfounded here. I don't know what to say. I don't even know how to strike up a conversation with this goddess. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, is this literally Aphrodite sitting here? Is this what's going on? Because she looked like an Amazon. I mean, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to act. I didn't know what to say. And so what do I come out with? But I'm comfortable when she was talking about how hot it was. From the moment she sat down, and this is where it gets kind of witchy, fun, spooky. I started looking around me because I felt like either somewhere to the right of me or standing behind me, but it felt like a fan, like a cool breeze was blowing on me. And so I'm looking around. I'm like, am I sitting under a fan or something? Because she's talking about being hot and, like she's freaking overheating or something. And, it was hot outside that day. I remember that. It was really hot outside that day. So me and Norma tried not to go out a lot if we could help it. And so I'm looking around for a fan, and I forget what Norma said to her, but I made a comment about a real pretty, I didn't even really look like closely to see what kind of tattoo it was. It was pretty and it had colors in it. And she had this real pretty tattoo on her right arm and it was in this section. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, I don't know how to talk to this goddess. I don't know what I just felt so, but here it gets even witchier. So I'm mostly facing Norma. Okay. The direction I was facing was this way. The direction this person was facing was not quite directly in front. I mean, she was sitting the closest to me. Like I could literally bend over slightly, reach out and touch her. She was that close. But I didn't do that because you never know what people are going to think. They're going to think, what are you doing? Why are you touching me? You don't know what people are going to do. And, I just focused on Norma and kept talking to Norma because I literally did not know how to talk to this woman. I was just like, okay, I know that this is something special, so I'm just going to enjoy it. But the whole time I was sitting there and me and Norma were talking and everything, I felt like me and this woman's energy connected, and it literally felt like she was closer to me than she actually was. And I'm like, okay, what's going on here? So after a handful of minutes, another girl came up wearing the same color, and her outfit wasn't identical to the blonde's, but it matched it well enough because she had long dark hair, because Norma noticed more details on the brunette than I did because I was still fixated on the blonde. And they both looked really nice. So I said, you both look great, and I even commented the blonde, I said, you're gorgeous, and she said, thank you. And I actually thanked her for sitting at our table, even though it was just for a handful of minutes, and it made my day. And she's like, she smiled at me and she said, have a good day. I said, you too, hun. She got up and left with her friend. Me and Norma got up and left and went the opposite direction. And the rest of the day, I kept calling them. I said, they will forever be known to me as the Kardashian sisters. And here's the kicker. They actually were. The blonde was Chloe. And I don't know who the brunette was. But how do I know this? How was I able to confirm this? When I got home that day, I heard this voice and I felt this feeling in me because I kept calling them the Kardashian sisters. I literally, and I didn't even then I didn't register up here that, do you realize that Khloe Kardashian just sat down at your table? No. And I started crying. I literally started crying. They're like, look it up. So it was one of my spirits. So I looked it up on my phone. I brought up a picture of the Kardashian sisters, and she was literally the only blonde in the fucking picture, and she looked exactly the way she did that day, but her outfit was different, but it was still beige. She had the long blonde hair, parted down the middle. She had black roots. She had long white nails, and she was wearing a beige outfit, and her hair was down past her bum. And I was like, no, no, no. And I just started crying. I'm like, no, 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 no. God damn it, no. Because of the missed opportunity, because I didn't realize who she was till it was too late. So the spell worked, but dumbass me didn't make the connection. And now that will probably never happen to me again. Nobody's going to believe me. I even did a little freaking story about it on my phone on Messenger. And I said, I know nobody's going to believe me, but Khloe Kardashian literally, or one of the Kardashian sisters, I didn't give her name at that time. One of the Kardashian sisters, actually two of them, I saw two of them that day. Because the other one that came up, I'm pretty sure was her sister, now that I think about it. And when I made the connection later, I just wanted to die. Because I was like, oh, no, 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 no. And then so I looked up some other stuff about Khloe, which wasn't easy to do. Because I'm not trying to invade anybody's privacy or anything like that. That family is well known. A lot of people don't like them. I don't know really much about them myself. So I guess that's why I did the spell, because I wanted to meet one and see for myself, judge for myself what my opinion was of them. Are they a good person? Are they a bad person? Or would I hang out with them or what? There was nothing about Khloe that made me think for even a second that I wouldn't be able to be friends with her and be able to, I felt completely at ease with her, completely comfortable. So then I looked up her birthday. And I wanted to shoot myself again. Her birthday is June 24th, 1989. Which means she's 40 right now. So that would explain why she was feeling hot, even though she shouldn't have felt hot. She was probably menopause. She was probably feeling some menopause. And now, like I said, I'm trying not to beat myself up over the missed opportunity, because that's just not something that you ever expect to happen until it does. And then you're like, what? Damn. What a messed up situation, because now that was a missed opportunity, and I could have been friends with the Kardashians and at least made my own judgment of sorts on what I thought of them as a people. So, yeah. Who was it? Oh, I think it was Christy. When I told her about it, she was like, she didn't really care for the Kardashians. Now, apparently, I'm guessing that people have some negative views about them because, for whatever reasons that I don't know, because I don't know anything about them. In an effort to find out something about them in a very general sense, without being too privacy invasive or anything of that sort, I started looking up books on Amazon. Only found a few. Couldn't access any of those because you had to pay for them before you downloaded them, and I didn't have the money at the time. Went to Barnes & Noble at Easton, where this happened, and literally had to ask one of the people that worked there if they had any books on the Kardashians. If so, where would they be? What section in the store would they be? The lady took me over to the section that they would most likely be if they were going to be anywhere. Not a single one not a single book about any of the Kardashians. And then I felt my witch stinks told me it would be okay to tell this woman. So I decided to tell this woman. Nobody's going to believe me when I say this. And there was other people standing near me, so I know they heard me. But Khloe Kardashian literally sat down at my table on July 13th. And by the time I realized who she was, it was too late. Because if I would have recognized who she was, I would have, she would have seen it on my face, because I probably would have been like, but then I would have been like, nope, don't give it away. Don't give it away. Maybe she don't want people to know who she is. Keep your calm. So then I would have like leaned in kind of close to her, and I would have said, excuse me, but are you Khloe Kardashian? And if she would have smiled or something and winked and said, yeah, I would have been like, just checking. You don't want anybody in this mall, especially since there's so many here, knowing that you're here, do you? And if she would have said, no, not really, I'd be like, okay, just checking. What would you like me to call you then? Because I want to help keep your secret, because I get it, okay? I know just how tough it can be to be a celebrity, and you and your entire family are. You're an empire, so wow. So when I'm talking to the lady in the bookstore, she tells me, she said, you know how Khloe got her start? I'm like, no. Why? What happened? And she said, she started out being Paris Hilton's closet designer. And I was like, huh? Really? Wow, I didn't know that. And I was like, wow, so this lady's giving me snippets of information. There was more than I had at that point. So I was grateful for it. That this is how they got their start, and this is how they became an empire. And I was like, whoa, damn. And she's like, that's interesting. When I told her, Khloe Kardashian sat down at my table. She's like, I wonder why they were here. And it was more like a kind of like a, it was like a curiosity. She wasn't doing it in an insulting way or anything. And she obviously, I didn't feel anything negative towards the Kardashians with this lady. I was like, wow, damn, holy shit, holy mother of wow. What do I do with this now? And now every time I go to Easton, I try not to do it, but I'm forever catching myself looking for Khloe Kardashian again. Because of the missed opportunity that I blew it. That I believe I was meant to meet her for a reason on that day, at that time, at that place. Everything was in synchronicity. And I just didn't even realize who she was. So, to try and come to a conclusion with this, I don't know how you feel about the Kardashians, and if you're one of those that don't really care for them, I apologize for my fangirl moment, but that just something like that don't happen to me, like ever. So the fact that it did, I considered it like one of the greatest compliments a person has ever given me. And we only exchanged a handful of words between us. And but since then, I have found out, I think Christy has been able to look up some information on them. They live in Los Angeles, I guess. But they do, I mean, hell, they've got the money for sure. They do like to travel around a lot to go to different places, and maybe going to different malls that they've heard things about. Let's go check it out, see what it's all about. Since then, we've been to Polaris. Us girls, I say us girls, and I'm usually talking about me and Norma and Christy. And we've been to Tuttle. And Norma and Christy loved them both. Polaris was funny. It was funny because we were at the building and my instinct was right, but then Christy was going by her GPS that was screwing us up and getting us all confused. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go back over to this building. Let's park, walk into the store, and ask them where the mall is, or ask them if this is the mall. So it was a JCPenney, I think. So we parked, walked in. I asked the first person I saw that worked there. I said, "Is this the mall?" And she said, "Oh yeah, you go around this way and it's right there." And I was like, oh boy. So I know in that instance, Christy meant well. So I wasn't like saying anything against her. I just, my instincts were right on again when they were trying to tell me, this is the mall. This is the right place. This is where you want to be. So I was like, okay, let's just do this in a way that it doesn't look like I'm saying, Christy, your GPS sucks. But I think she ended up actually saying that herself. Because once we got in there, I was like, this is Polaris. I said, this is the mall. Because once we walked into the main body of the mall, I knew that we were there. I was like, yeah, this is the place. So we walked around, we had a lot of fun. We got a lot of cool stuff. I had very little money to do much of anything with, but, somewhere around here, I don't know what I did with them. One of the last things I bought that day, and that pretty much broke me when I did, was, and the only reason why I had any money was because Maria had given me some. And, she's like, here, so you can get something for yourself. I'm like, okay, thank you. And I got a bag of Capricorn. It was a mystery bag, and it was Capricorn stones. And each stone came with a little card that told you what the stone was and what its properties were and how it could be used, like magically and, stuff. So, well, dear, we've almost been on here 4 hours, and I know it's like going on 7 there, so I don't know what you got going on, or if you're busy or trying to make dinner or anything, but I'm glad you and the boys are okay. You're not out on the street. If you want, like I said, I will write that prayer on Signal for you so that you can just write it down at your leisure. And, just start trying some things, see if you can connect with the 888 energy before it's gone, because I honestly don't know what time tonight that's going to happen. And I don't want to go because I'm afraid it might be a long time before I hear from you again, or before we can. But at the same time, I'm not trying to keep you on here all day or anything either, because you probably got stuff you got to do there. So I hope that, the boys are still getting their help with the autistic stuff, and we love you all, and thanks for coming and finally being able to hang out a little bit. And me and Norma will work on getting those Tylenol to you, and maybe send you a few surprises of some other things that I know you like from here. Chris tried to make us Yorkshire pudding the other night, but then he realized too late we didn't have any eggs. So he got everything mixed and then didn't have the eggs, so couldn't do it. And it was one of the things that you had left here that you were going to do for us, and we never got to do. So, blessed be. Thanks for putting up with my, mom's in her jammas day. And hopefully I'll see you on here again soon, and just let me apologize ahead of time if I've said or done anything on any other live streams that you might watch that hurts or upsets you in any way. But at the time, that was how I felt, because like I said, I just didn't know what was going on, and I was scared, and I was hurting because we weren't hearing anything, and I was about to put TikTok back on my phone so I could reach you. But I will hopefully see you again soon, or we can talk on Signal or something if that's easier for you. So love you, love the boys. Stay wild, Moonchild. See you later. What?